Good evening, everybody. DadmanWalking55 coming to you from the East Coast of the U.S. and very, very, very unhappy day on college football day because the Florida Gators are, no better coming out the start of the second half as they went in the first half, which says not much. It was interesting watching the first half. And Mrs. was with me for a long time, and finally, she's like, "Do I have to watch?" And I said, "No, no more. You did so well watching this garbage for as long as you did. Three trips inside the 20 in the red zone, no touchdowns for the Gators, and now coming out with the second half, 3 and out with the backup quarterback, with the freshman quarterback, and you stick him out there with the same bullcrap garbage offense and 3 plays in punt. So let's see what happens to Tennessee now. Will Tennessee take advantage of the good field position? Will Tennessee get on track in the second half? Because I spent the first half monitoring a YouTube chat from Tennessee land up there, and boy, they were freaking out worse than us Gator fans were. So, hey. But I tell you, they got talent. They got a coach that may change. So let's see what happens. We will know very quickly in the second half. But hey, good to see you, Benny from O. How are you tonight? Hopefully y'all traveled safely and things are well with you. Good to see you tonight. It has been an interesting day of football games and about 7 yards on the first play. But hey, we shall see. Well, let's take a look at around the rest of the country while I sit here and get my thoughts. Exactly. Yes. And even then, they kicked a field goal to try to go up 6-0, but it was delayed because they had too many men on the field, and with this garbage 10-second runoff rule, they didn't get to re-kick it. It's bull crap. Yeah. And hello, Mrs. Yes, she had to walk away. It was driving her crazy. What happened to your avatar, Mrs.? Like your blue screen, there's no. We don't hold the bananas responsible for what the Gators did tonight. I tell you what, though, folks, the Tennessee fans have really started melting down tonight too themselves. So, but Tennessee's got a 3rd down and 3 at about the 50-yard line, and we'll see what happens with that. And wow, Florida forces Tennessee to a 4th down play now. We'll see if they go for it or not. I could just imagine my Tennessee brethren are in turmoil after that call. But the thing is, like you do you go for it now or do you kick the ball? To me, honestly, if I'm Tennessee, I kick the ball deep and make Florida try to drive the ball, which they've shown the inability to do tonight. I was telling a cousin of mine on Facebook that, somebody better not make the flight back tonight, and it ain't one of the players. But you never know what they'll do. They've had plenty of chance. This is just embarrassing, folks. I love my football. I'm proud of my football, but yeah. Oh, yeah, got me there. Bye week by 3, exactly. That's how bad Auburn's offense has been and is lately these days. Oh, my gosh. And Tennessee fans were upset this week listening to their shows out in Knoxville. They were upset that they were not on the ABC game, which is currently Ole Miss and LSU now. And this might be the reason why. Because ABC didn't want to put the Gators on, and now the Tennessee is called the Gators infection. It's called the Billy Napier offense. Let's dumb it down to no points. So, hey, Sci-Fi Mombi, good to see you tonight. How are you doing? Good to see. I don't know why it keeps bringing up everybody's. That's weird. It's like there's a blue. It's not showing the avatar, but good to see you. There it is. Finally, there we go. Good to see you. So let us take a look. It's at a commercial now. Florida is inside their 10-yard line, so let's see if they can get the ball back. That's the only way that this game is going to be is by giving the other team points. Well, in the first matchup of top 25 teams this week, it was last night actually, Utah went on the road. Number 16 Utah Utes went on the road to Arizona State. Gets upset. Arizona State wins that game 27-19. So look for Arizona State to move up into the top 25 in at least one of the polls this week. But in earlier action today, well, let's look at the ongoing scores right now in the top 25. Let's take a look around the country at the top 25 right now. 8th ranked Tennessee Oh God, I might have to go on Bill's karaoke later just to sing Rocky Top and call it Floppy Top tonight. But hey, the Gators are on the road somehow with a big 3-0 lead over Rocky Top. Both teams 1-1 in the conference. This is a big game for both teams here. So let's see. Let's see. Choose more. Okay, all right. Message the missus for me, B from O. Message the missus for me, and we'll see what's up. Oregon, number 2, Oregon goes on the road to play. Ohio State's number 2 on the road at number 3, Oregon. First matchup of top 3 teams this year. Ohio State has the lead nearing halftime, 21-15 in this game in Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. This is definitely the game of the day in terms of matchup, and so far it's been a pretty close game. At the 2-minute warning in the first half, Ole Miss is on the road at Baton Rouge with a 10-7 lead over the Tigers. Also, 10:47 left in the second period. Number 11, Iowa State's on the road at Morgantown, West Virginia, tied at 7. Later games involving top 25 teams. Number 18, Kansas State plays at Colorado. Number 17, Boise State goes to Hawaii. So we got those matchups there. And that's the problem is I got to work on my locations with stuff. I need actually probably to shift I wish I could shift my computer around so I could see the TV at the same time. It might be a good way to be able to see multiple things like that. So, all right, Mrs., you just tell me what the second half is going to be die play by Florida. So, all right, so here we go. Earlier games tonight, Texas beats Oklahoma badly in the Red River Shootout, 34-3. Number 18, Oklahoma goes down to the Longhorns. Final in overtime, Penn State survives the test out on the West Coast, winning. Number 4, Penn State wins 33-30, dropping USC to 3-3 on the season, 500. In a game that a lot of people did not see or expect to be this close, Georgia, the 5th-ranked Georgia, does win against the other dogs out of the SEC. Mississippi State 41-31 in that game. Also, earlier game, the game of the day that really got a lot of attention. Number 7, Alabama survives not only a 2-point conversion, but also South Carolina recovers an onside kick, but yet they managed to hold on for a last-second interception. South Carolina really had some bad clock management at the end of the game to end that game. But Alabama survives, moves up to 5-1, 2-1 SEC, 27-25 over South Carolina, readying up for their road game at Tennessee next week. Excuse me one second. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Now watch this be the half of the year for the Gators while I got my back turned onto them. But anyway, 10th-ranked Clemson goes on the road, beats Wake Forest in the ACC game 49-14. Notre Dame crushes Stanford at home 49-7. 14th-ranked BYU beats Arizona 41-19. And 21st-ranked Missouri goes to UMass and beats them 45-3. The Minutemen get crushed. Also in a game of surprise ACC teams, Cal comes all the way to the East Coast. They play Pittsburgh, loses by 2, 17-15 in that game. And Illinois, 23rd ranked, survives a scare at home to Purdue, who falls to 1-5. Illinois, 23rd ranked, moves to 5-1, wins this game in overtime 50-49. So, hey, there you go. And hello, Southern Belle. Hey, good to see you tonight. I go Vols. Okay. Rock Top. Oh, Rock Top. I'll sing a little bit of Rock Top for you. But, hey, listen, I tell you, I was watching some YouTuber from up there later. The frustration is immense in Knoxville tonight. It's bad down here, but we're expected to suck down here. But hey, I tell you what, y'all win. Y'all help us find a new coach for next year. But great to see you tonight. I love actually, it's kind of funny. I've actually learned, you know, Tennessee is one of those teams that I've always hated the most over the years. Generally, being a Gator fan, my rival was always Georgia, but then of course with Spurrier and all in the '90s and stuff, it got to be Tennessee. But you know what? Honestly, I'll be honest. I've learned to respect and come to love a lot of the Tennessee people and fans. They're really good people, and it's a great fan base. It truly does. They deserve the success that they've been having, and it's I like plus you got the most addictive song in the world with that daggum Rocky Top. All right. So, and that's it in the top 25 action today that has so far gone on. I want to dig into this Florida Tennessee game right now. I see that it's gone to a commercial, but it is still 3-0 in this game. So far, really, this is a game that Florida should be up 20-0, 24-0, with some score. That you do, Southern Belle. You do, and that stadium's always rocking. It's one of the hardest places in America to play. I still love it when y'all beat Bama 2 years ago, and they ripped down the goalpost and marched the goalpost out and threw them into the Tennessee River. That was awesome. Also, not just the stadium. You're like in Jacksonville. You got the Volunteer Navy? You got all the boats out there outside Neyland Stadium. So definitely one of the greatest fan bases around, And like I said, long-suffering fan base that deserves the success that they've had the last 3 years. But like tonight, I can sense a frustration. Florida has amassed over 230 yards of offense in this game, has been held to 3 points. I'm stunned. I mean, as a Gator fan, at least 17-0, something. Nico Iamavela is 8 for 11 of 88 yards. He did throw a bad pick that helped set Florida up for a potential another score in the first half that did not happen. Where I'm surprised is Tennessee's not running the ball well on a whole against Florida. They're only averaging 2.1 yards per carry on 23 rushes. That's where I thought that Tennessee would take this game on Florida, was through an advanced running game, pounding Florida up the middle, which has been Florida's weakness all season. It does look like Florida is starting to drive again, so we shall see what will happen. But, never fail. Billy Napier will go back to die place. But Dylan Sampson has 26 yards rushing to lead Tennessee. It's really a bizarre. It's really one of the most bizarre games that I've seen. I keep telling my Tennessee friends and fans out there to be patient. Be patient. You guys might come. I mean, I think you guys will come back in this game. Florida shot itself so much in the foot in the first half. I don't see how Florida can actually come back and win this game. So let's see. Squirrel Wright. Folks, I tell you, one of the best names of college sports, of all sports everywhere, is the great Squirrel White. We fell in love with him 2 years ago when we started this show. These shows. Squirrel White is a wide receiver for Tennessee. He's caught 3 passes for 53 yards to lead Tennessee in the receiving corps. But DJ Lagway has come off the bench for Florida in the 2-quarterback system. 3 or 4 passing, 45 yards. Florida has had a good night of offensive efficiency in terms of moving the ball and gaining yards, but where it comes down to is putting points in the end zone. Graham Mertz fumbled the ball inside the 1-yard line. We also had a 4th and 1 inch that Florida insisted on running an end around or jet sweep instead of just a quarterback sneak. I just go figure. So, hey, go figure what will happen, because we got a 3rd and 8 here. So B from let's see. Don't think that will affect Alabama in the polls. Tennessee struggling. They don't pull off their fall. See, I think Alabama probably will fall a notch or two. I do not think Bama. Oh my gosh! Hey, Florida's inside the 10. I do not think Bama fall outside the top 10. I mean, they didn't lose. They held on. They won. What's going to be interesting, though, next week, Alabama goes to Knoxville, I believe. And let me double check that. I believe so. before Tennessee has another off week. Yes, Alabama goes into Knoxville. It's the 3:30 game next Saturday on ABC. If that will be an interesting game to see what happens, barring depending on the result of this game tonight, because presume Florida holds on somehow, wins. Tennessee will have lost 2 games in a row with Alabama coming to town. There'll be a very, very frustrated fan base up in Tennessee with this if they lose tonight. Even if they do come back and win, I think there's still going to be a lot of welling and gnashing of teeth from the Tennessee standpoint. Listening to a lot of their shows this week, that was coming through. And if the missus was listening to some of them with me today, and even their main anchor guys, the sports hosts that I like, I respect, I listen to, man, they sounded like, well, guess what? I guess I'm going to have to stream every daggum remaining Florida Gator game. Touchdown, Florida. Yay. 9-0. Yay. Okay. Yes, I'm a biased homer, but hey, the game is not over, Tennessee fans. Florida got the ball in the end zone somehow, finally. Miracles do happen. But what the missus, like I was saying, the missus was listening to me today, and man, they were so worried with the Florida team. In spite of the incompetent offense over the years, the bad coaching, the mistakes, and all, the defense that got gashed against Miami and Texas A&M, they still had a lot of fear of this Florida team. And I believe, let's look at Winspedia again. Yes, folks, we will talk about some of the other games. Yeah, the missus said, my wife gave it all she could. She truly did. She did her best to try to sit with me and watch this game tonight to the greatest extent that she could. So I'll come back. Let me start that one. Let me see that one here. Well, obviously, football. Yes, Studding. Good to see you, Studding. There you go, Southern Belle. There you go. Let's go defense. Yes. Well, Florida will take a 10-0 lead. I assume the extra point was good, but what I found out today, if you know anything about the Florida-Tennessee series, it really is one of those series that is of runs, and it's really, back in the 70s, 80s, growing up, I really hated Georgia. They got inside your head because Vince Dooley always talked about one of the greatest human beings and really a great football coach for the University of Georgia. He always ran down his team. We're not good. They're better. And you're like, shut up, because you end up winning it. You end up winning it every time. And, well, no, it was always frustrating, and Georgia always got in our head and stuff. And that's what it seems like has happened in this rivalry, especially listening to some of the announcers today, because in the last, since 2000, so let's go back to 2000. Let's see. So 2000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 years. In 24 years, Tennessee has won 5 times. And has only won like 3 of the last 20 games. That's how dominating this series is. Yes, they do, Southern Belle. They do. I remember this week they had some of their little commercials for the radio station. Some of the companies up there in Tennessee, in Knoxville, they're like featuring gator appetizers, fried gator and stuff. I hear it tastes like chicken. I think I tried it once. I don't remember, but yeah, this is really a series that flashbacks. This is crazy things have happened. I can understand Tennessee fans' problems. A few years ago, Florida had a quarterback. They threw the ball 8 times in the game. The quarterback couldn't even throw the ball really downfield. They had a kicker that missed more field goals than he made, yet Florida won 10-9 that year. We also had a 4th and 15 where Florida's wide receiver Callaway caught the ball, outran the defense to get the first down, and got the go-ahead touchdown. Then Tennessee moves the ball down and misses the field goal to win it. Then, of course, we all know about the 65-yard Hail Mary from Felipe Franks all the way in there to the back of the end zone. How the heck the guy got behind the Tennessee defense, we will never know. But, that's how it's been. They also have the Jabbar Gaffney catch, no catch, that people still swear was not a catch. That was a Florida victory one season, yes. And it is a very tough game. I tell you. And, I hear, like I said, I hear tonight watching some of the talk out of Tennessee. It's like, I feel for them. I mean, Tennessee's a team ranked eighth now, had high hopes, got even higher hopes, possibly the playoffs this year. Now, the question people are starting to ask, if they lose this game, if they get a second loss, will they still be in contention? You don't know. They still have Georgia. They still have Alabama left to play this season. So it's a long season. But like I said, never give up. Tennessee is at home. Anything could happen. And the bad problem I see from the Florida standpoint, if you're like me, where you want a new coach, game like tonight means you can't fire him. And I'm like, but you can see, you see the results are on the field. It's more than just the wins and losses sometimes. But hey, all right. Well, that's where we are with this game. So we'll see what happens when Tennessee gets the ball back again and see if they can get the offense on track. Updating a score in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon has taken a 22-21 lead on number 2 Ohio State. Ole Miss has expanded its lead with a minute left in the first half, 17-7 over LSU. Iowa State has pulled ahead of West Virginia 14-7 late in the first half. And let's see, in other games of note outside the top 25, then we'll take a look at some of the earlier games today. Let's see. Fresno State leads Washington State in the third quarter, 14-13. Let's see. Rice is leading Texas San Antonio 23-13. Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Vanderbilt, who upset number 1 Alabama last week, is tied on the road in Lexington at 7 in that game. Let's see. So we'll see two teams that hope to make a bowl game this season. A very key game here for both teams. Syracuse leads at NC State in ACC game 10-7 nearing halftime. In early action on the West Coast, UCLA leads Minnesota 7-0. Let's see, and then of course, like I mentioned, Kansas State, Colorado, and Boise State, Hawaii are later tonight. So let's take a look at a game of really regional impact earlier today, which was Alabama. The Crimson Tide were trailing, were up 2 at halftime, 14-12. Actually, were trailing at the end of the third, 19-14, but scored 13 points in the fourth quarter to win 27-25. Although it took, if South Carolina could have held Alabama to a field goal instead of that last touchdown, it might have been different. But South Carolina moves down, scores. Receiver wide open on 2-yard on the 2-point conversion. Lenore Sellers sells the ball into the stands. Then the lowest percentage play in all of football is the onside kick. South Carolina does it. Actually gets the ball back. But South Carolina melts down, bad clock management. Offensive lineman catches the pass instead of letting it hit the ground, which kept the clock running. And South Carolina heaves a desperation pass into the end zone. Where Alabama intercepts it and runs out the clock to secure the 27-25 win in this game. South Carolina threw the ball for 242 yards, which is a lot for the team that usually focuses more on running the ball, where they ran for 132 yards. They held Alabama to only 104 yards rushing today. But Jalen Milroe was effective for 209 yards through the air, but he did throw 2 interceptions. So Alabama's still having that hangover from the second half of the Georgia game, not just last week's upset loss to Vanderbilt. But really, folks, this started in the second half against Georgia when Georgia made the big rally, and then Alabama was able to come back to win the game at the very end. So Alabama, will they go? To be for most question. Let's see. What will they do? Will they jump? Well, let me see. Let me take a look at something real quick. Let me bring it up here. Let's see. Let me get back to the rankings. Let's see. We got the college football. We got AP rankings here. Number 9 is Ole Miss in the AP. Number 9 is Tennessee. Okay, so it's a combination of Ole Miss or LSU or Clemson. Yeah, I think if Tennessee wins, it's hard to say B for Mo. I think Alabama would stay ahead of LSU no matter what, but it looks like it. If you look at the AP top poll, top 25, Ole Miss is number 9, good distance on Clemson. I would think it would take. I think Alabama or Tennessee would stay ahead of Ole Miss unless Ole Miss blows out LSU very decisively. I think that Alabama, Tennessee, assuming they both win, would stay ahead. But you never know between the two. But I don't think like number 10 Clemson would jump them. And in the coaches poll, it'd be sort of similar. Is that Ole Miss is 8, LSU's 10. In the coaches poll, Clemson could jump Tennessee, but you never know. Notre Dame could jump them. You don't know. It just depends on the way the voters decide that they want to vote this week. So, and it looks like Tennessee is, touchdown Tennessee, folks. There you go. The game ain't over. There you go. Woohoo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. Woo! That's about the best I can do. Avoid copyright. Don't want to chase everybody out. But, hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Oh, my goodness. Folks, that game, now the second half looks like it may become a nose knocker, with that game. Now, Tennessee, with that drive, takes let me take a look. I'm curious at that, something with that drive, because I am curious to see, because thanks to ESPN.com, where I get a lot of my information, where I get my real-time information, it looks like Graham Mertz got shaken up on the touchdown play. Let's see. Oh, so they Tennessee went for 4th and 1 at the Florida 6 and ended up 6-yard touchdown run. So let's see. So run, pass, 2 passes, 3 passes, run. A mix of run and pass. Okay, I just was curious because I thought the key to the game for Tennessee is getting their running game going on Florida's defense, which has been very vulnerable up in the middle all season. So, all right, we got a ball game, folks. We got a ball game. Yes. Yep. 10-7. Yep. Absolutely. So, hey, that's what I was trying to tell a lot of people when I was lurking over another channel is don't give up. Second half, I tell you what, I'll be honest, I've liked Josh Heupel for 3 years. Or is he's in his 4th year. He's been here a year before Napier got to Florida. I think by far Heupel's a much better coach. He shows the ability to adapt, to change. I know there's a lot of frustration with a lot of the people, but I think sometimes we get spoiled with video games and some of the prolific offenses. We've forgotten how sometimes football can be difficult and sometimes it's a struggle, and we expect all these high-scoring shootouts and stuff like that all the time. And but I tell you, I like Josh Heupel. He's one of my favorite coaches. I'd like to tell Tennessee fans that are unhappy with him, I'll trade you coaches. At least your coach will change. Our guy does shift. That's basically the Florida offense under Billy Napier. Seriously, if you watch the game, watch it, and somebody shifts. It's like the clap-on, clap-off offense. And I got from one of our local talk show hosts who does not like anybody fired, hates all this, but he's like, weeks ago he said it's time. But yeah, the running back trip. Yeah, it's amazing how that can happen. So, oh my, wow. Thank you. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Southern Belle. Look, that gets it right back. That's like Nico's interception in the first half. He threw in a bad coverage. It was really bad. He stared down the receiver right there, threw it right to him. So, hey, y'all are helping me tonight. Thank y'all. This is my online therapy, how to survive a Florida Gator game. But it truly is. It's a game of two halves. So many times of course of watching football, I've seen so many teams, especially Florida, where they blow so many opportunities in the first half. Second half, catches up to them. The other team catches up and goes past them. Because I tell you, I'll be honest, I think, especially if Graham Mertz can't come back, depending on how hurt he is. I look for Tennessee to put up some big points in the fourth quarter. I think this game can get ugly really quickly. It happens in these games when one team blows so many shots. And of course, Lagway. Everybody's got this thing about Lagway being this great quarterback, and he's got talent. He's got an arm, but right there you see he threw into bad coverage right there. And this is a very overrated Florida defense, very weak, and it eventually will break down. So. And it's odd with the new television networks and all the contracts now. There are only 2 West Coast games tonight. So used to you could stay up till 2:00 in the morning and get all kinds of football, but it's Colorado is on at 10:15 on ESPN, and then Hawaii hosts Boise State on CBS at 11. So, blow somebody shut. Yeah, exactly. That's about what it really, really is. So, oh, by the way, my friend JT Kirk, I sent him a meme involving Ohio State tonight. So it was interesting. Let's take a look at, we talked about the Alabama game. Folks, if there's any games earlier today, you have comments you want to talk about, feel free to share something in there with it. But of course, Alabama, South Carolina, it's a shame to see Alabama escape again. But I tell you what, folks, with Tennessee struggling 2 weeks in a row, Alabama going to Knoxville next week. Be ready for Tennessee to take care of business against Alabama next week. I'm telling you. Oh, wow. Well, I guess they're going to have to hold them to a field goal attempt. All right. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Go through these games. Of course, Penn State, like I said, Penn State at USC. A match that in history would have never been played until the Rose Bowl. But we don't have those matchups anymore. Penn State goes on to the West Coast and escapes from USC in overtime. Penn State, 4th ranked, ends up going up to 6-0 on the season. And, yep. All right, we're tied at 10. We are tied at 10. Ding. Yeah, hold on. My sister. Hold on. I got to take care of this with Mom. There's a question about Mom, so hold on. Sorry about this, folks. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, my goodness. So, all right. So, Penn State goes on the road, wins this game 33-30. And really, it was a fun shootout of a game. If you were able to watch it, it was back and forth. Actually, at one point, it looked like USC was going to run away when they opened a 20-6 lead, but Penn State comes back to tie it at 20. They battled to 30-30 at end of regulation, and then after USC is held, Penn State kicks a 36-yard field goal, wins the game, and and Penn State escapes to survive another day, moving to 6-0. Of course, most people that know about Penn State will always ask you, can they beat the good teams? Can they beat Ohio State? Will they beat Michigan? Generally, they don't, so we'll see. But, of course, that's in the 18-team Big Ten Conference, which is crazy. USC has really both teams combined for about 1,000 yards of total offense, 44 first downs, and really, I didn't get to watch a lot of this, but from what I did see, it was a fun game to watch. If you liked offense, you had it. You did have some mistakes. You did have 4 turnovers in the game, 3 picks by Drew Aller, the Penn State quarterback, but he still threw for 391 yards and 2 touchdowns. USC ran for almost 200 yards on offense. Miller Moss was 20 of 34 for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick for USC. So it really, if you like West Coast football, it's a good thing to watch. I tell you, the games on the West Coast generally have more offense. They're fun to watch, even though this is sort of a hybrid West Coast East intersectional matchup. It's really weird to get used to the Big Ten that it touches the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So, all right. Well, let's see. Well, looks like Florida's near midfield again. I wonder. Let me see. That's 2 drives in a row for Lagway. So apparently it looks like Mertz may be hurt a little more than expected because, otherwise, why would you change a quarterback? Again, I know it's a 2-quarterback system, but normally it'd be, especially at that pick that Lagway threw, you would have thought Mertz would be back in this game right now. So we will see. Let's see if they let the kid throw the ball down the field. That would be one thing to see and not having to do all the dink and dunking. So, hey, first down Florida across the midfield. Let's see where we go with this. Other games that we've got in terms of finals. Like I said, if you have other games you'd like to talk about, let me know. 5th-ranked Georgia those Bulldogs held off the Mississippi State Bulldogs. If you ever want cowbell, go to Starkville, Mississippi. They have plenty of cowbell with the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And they bring them with them when they go on the road. Yeah, I've heard it. This, almost 1,000 yards of offense again between the two teams. 605 yards of offense by Georgia, holding the ball for almost 34 minutes of the game, 26 minutes for Mississippi State, who also had itself about 400 yards on total offense today. So it really was an interesting affair. It was a little more one-sided than the game final score makes it out to be. Georgia pulls out to 27-10 halftime lead, actually expands it at halftime. After halftime to 34-10, Mississippi State comes back with a couple more touchdowns to pull within 10. Then Georgia, both teams exchanged touchdowns in the fourth quarter to end up with the final 41-31 score. A lot of offense in this game, but, of course, Mississippi State had dug itself too much of a hole to come back. Michael Van Buren, a freshman, threw 3 touchdowns and a pick today, 306 yards passing for Mississippi State. Looks like that they are deciding to become a passing team again after last year with they didn't know what they wanted to be, whether they wanted to run or pass. Carson Beck threw 36 for 48, 459 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 picks on the day. So mixed results with him for that. Arian Smith for the Dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs, 5 catches for 134 yards and a touchdown. So, of course, number 5, Georgia extends, its unbeaten streak at home. Only 1 blemish on the day on the season. With that, the rally that they actually took the lead against Alabama in that second half, just to give it back on the first play after taking the lead, which could be very frustrating. Which means next week, another key game. We got Alabama at Tennessee and Knoxville at 3:30, but then at 7:30 p.m. on ABC, the Georgia Bulldogs go to Austin to play the Texas Longhorns. So, hey, it's what a day of matchups next week. That's going to be a heck of a week. If you really like college football, especially if you're a Southeastern Conference fan, it is going to be a really good week of football action. So let's see where we go here. The other games that we've got that happened today that of interest: Illinois and Purdue. Illinois, 23rd ranked, holds on, wins by 1 point over Purdue with a failed 2-point conversion attempt in overtime. Gives Illinois a win. This is you thought 1,000 yards of offense was a lot. These two teams combined for 1,100 yards of offense, 49 first downs. Illinois held the ball for 33 minutes. Just an amazing out. This would be a fun game to have gone to watch in person. But unless you're an Illinois fan, Illinois moved out to a 24-3 halftime lead, extended it to 27-3 with 10:57 left in third quarter. Then Purdue runs off 17 straight points to pull it within 27-20. Ultimately, then the Purdue Boilermakers end up getting 2 touchdowns in the last. Wait a second. This can't be right. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a converter. It was a successful 2-point conversion. Believe it or not, Purdue got 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game to pull ahead 43-40. Then Illinois tied the game to force overtime on a 38-yard field goal as time expired. Wow. You would not have wanted to be there as an Illinois fan, but as a football fan, that would have been one heck of a game to watch in person. So definitely you'd have no hair left after that game. So Florida's now facing the 3rd and 10. Ugh. High pass. All right. Let's see what other games we got of interest. Army, 44-10. They moved to 6-0 on the season, which first time since the 1990s. Louisville beats Virginia 24-20. So that's really it for games of interest so far that are going on. Let's take another look at the current scores involving the top 25. Wow. I don't know. Okay, Florida faces a 4th and 3. This is one of those. Do you go for it? Do you not go for it? Thank you, Mrs. Appreciate that. Yes, remember to hit the like, subscribe, get the notifications for when we go live. All right, so we got this 10-10. At halftime, Ole Miss is up on LSU 17-13. 17-13, Ole Miss over LSU. Yeah, I have to watch this play because it is a 4th and about 3. Let's see what Florida does. And the Gators want interference. They're not going to get the call. And, yep. Nope. That was a good play by the Tennessee defender. It was a good play by the Tennessee defender. Well, folks, that brings up the whole question is now Tennessee gets the ball back in the 4th quarter. Tennessee scored the last 10 points of this game. What happens to Billy Napier after tonight? Yeah, this is very topic-oriented, very team-oriented, but, it's a serious discussion. It's been going on. I know of other YouTubers that thought Napier never fit the first year. I have said it for 3 years now that he should have been gone after the first year. And this game should have been over in the first half. Florida should have had this game going away against Tennessee. But Tennessee, give them credit, has fought back. Defense is playing harder, picking up this intensity in the second half. And, frankly, I'm afraid of this next drive because I'll be honest, if Mertz is out for the game, then let me see what his status is, because we saw in the last 2 drives DJ Lagway did nothing, And everybody always likes the backup quarterback. They like the second guy because he's more exciting. He throws the ball forward. But you know what? Sometimes there's a reason why the quarterback is not the starter. The development, experience, things like that. And like on that last fourth down play, it was just he stared down the receiver again. They knew where they were going. And it was pretty easy to defend. So let me see. Let me take a quick look right now. Let's see. Going through, look. Non-contact injury. Non-contact knee injury. According to Florida, it's SI.com, breaking Gators quarterback Graham Mertz injured versus Tennessee. The Florida Gators veteran starter left the game suffering a non-contact knee injury midway through the third quarter. Apparent lower body injury following an awkward landing after throwing the 13-yard touchdown pass to Arlis Boardingham. Oh, crap. He slammed his helmet on the ground once he made the sideline. That tells me he's gone. Yeah, he was walking on his own power in the sideline, but with a significant limp, eventually going to the Gators locker room. So, folks, if you're a Gator fan and you've wanted DJ Lagway, well, he's your guy now. This one is his game now, and proceeded to throw a pick, leading to the game-tying field goal, and then, of course, could not convert a 4th and 3 right there. So, of course, wow, folks. I did not see who lost. Thank you, Southern Bell, for pointing out the earlier injury. The earlier injury was running back Montrell Johnson Jr. He left the game following an awkward tackle on a 20-yard run. So, folks, that's your starting Gator quarterback and your starting Gator running back right there, who were instrumental in getting the lead that they had at one point. But we shall see what shall happen. But the question, like I said, comes back to, if you're Florida, you lose this game. Do you make the call tomorrow? Do you make the decision? I mean, hanging over your program, it's the worst kept secret in the whole world of college football, is Billy Napier's coaching future at Florida. Their names have been postulated for the job out there. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, even Brian Kelly at LSU, which would be kind of a surprise, but you don't know. And I tell you what, if Florida's going to be relevant these days, they're going to have to do something soon, because with a 16-team SEC, rumor of a 70-team mega conference out there one day. Yes, college football is not what it used to be, folks. It is constantly changing every day and getting crazier and crazier all the time. We got it's like the NFL light, or the minor league to the NFL. We got players walking off teams before their fourth game to redshirt another year. You got people saying that the school did not pay them according to their NIL deals, that they were owed money. I mean, transfer portals, where, as happened last year with FSU and going into the bowl game against Georgia, 24 players were not playing in the bowl game. 13 were waiting in the transfer portal. 10 were waiting to be drafted. And folks, that's never good for the game. You know, and do the players have any loyalty for the schools now? 4th and 3, oh my God, is Heupel really going for 4th and 3 right there? I'll be honest, I think this is the case. I like Josh Heupel. Oh, they took the delay to try to draw him offside. Honestly, if you're Josh Heupel, you don't be stupid right now. You wait for Florida to melt down. You wait for Lagway to make another mistake, or Napier to go ultra conservative, running the ball into the line of scrimmage the whole time. So odds are, my money, well, we don't bet and we don't gamble around here, but my guess is that Tennessee will win this game. Oh, let's take a look at these last games that we've got. Wow, we've been going about 50 minutes. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody here. We still got 6 people here watching. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for input. Thank you for listening. Thank you for lurking. I appreciate all y'all. And thank you for the Tennessee talk there, Southern Bell. I have to sing Rocky Top again one day on karaoke soon. It's an addictive song. Yes, Mrs. knows that. I used to go around all week playing Rocky Top just to get me in a bad mood before the Tennessee game. But now I sing it on karaoke sometimes. Now, what's bad is I think if I ever changed teams, it probably would be Tennessee, only because of that stupid song. There's something addictive about Rocky Top. You're walking down the street and the tune gets stuck in your head. Ohio State has taken the lead on Oregon 28-22 with a third quarter touchdown, 9:27 left in the third quarter. Ole Miss and LSU still have not come back yet. Yes, they are. They are, but they're still fighting through it. They're still fighting through in this game, and that's the thing is no quit. No quit with them. I still give Tennessee the edge in this game. I think for coaching, they're at home and coaching. Lagway's already made made a mistake with the pass with the interception. What my prediction is of what the rest of this game is going to be Lagway handing off the ball on first and second down and getting into predictable pass situations. And the thing right now for Tennessee is not to make a mistake. Let Florida make the first mistake. I know it's a frustrating way to play football, but I know Heupel probably wanted to go for 4th and 3, try to drive Florida off sides, but if you don't, sometimes there is such a thing as being too aggressive, which Napier did up at Tennessee 2 years ago, where he was going for all kind of wild 4th downs early in the game, and they didn't work. They got Florida way down into a big hole, but then they got a few near the end, and they came close to winning. So, like Mrs. said earlier, please hit the like button, share it out. I just realized I didn't like myself, and as Mrs. says, it's always important to like yourself, because if you don't like yourself, who's going to like you? I love that. I love that saying. So, let's take a look. Let's see. Yeah, there's no really. These are the best games of the evening. And folks, to tell you the truth, tonight's action is better than it has been the last 2 weeks. We were some very desperate action the last 2 weeks. Let me take a look at next week's action real quick. Let me just jump ahead to next week. Just previewing the SEC action. Next week, we got South Carolina at number 18, Oklahoma, who will drop from that. Auburn will be on the road at Missouri. Alabama, Tennessee next week, 3:30, as we said. 4:15 on the SEC Network. Texas A&M will be on the road at Starkville, Mississippi. LSU and Arkansas played next Saturday night on ESPN. Ball State, Vanderbilt next week. Georgia, Texas at 7:30 on ESPN. And, of course, at 7:45, Kentucky is at Florida. And watch Kentucky win that game already. I'm telling you. If Billy Napier's still the coach, Kentucky wins that game because they have had Florida's number in recent years. So, man, we still got 12 minutes left in this game. Jeez. Well, there's running play number 1. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you, especially in that where he's trapped right now with Lagway throwing that pick earlier, Napier will not open up this offense. So it's a battle of field position right here. Force Florida to punt and try to get good field position. So, oh, man. As a Gator fan, that really stinks with Mertz getting hurt and not coming back. It sounds like he's already made it to the locker room. And see, folks, that's what I say right there. I know you're down in your own end zone, but there's 2 running plays right in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Nobody's going to get fooled by that. Tennessee's defensive line is so good and really good. And, it's almost like your coach gives up sometimes. At least Heupel did a few things that got a little surprised there. At least he made him think, but was he really going for it or not? So, yes, I remember Southern Bell, like you said, that they packed the stadium up there. I can only imagine how loud Neyland Stadium is right now, with especially down with the Gators down in that part of the end zone by themselves. Yep. Yeah. Yep. So, hey, Let's see. Yeah. So that, let's see. Taking a look at next week's action. Really, those are the best. Michigan, Illinois play next week, but I think nationally there really aren't any good national matchups. I think the SEC has the best matchups next week with Georgia, Texas, and Alabama, Tennessee. So, oh boy. Sorry, the smart alecky Gators coming out right now. So they had a false start again. So let's see. Wow. All right. Hey. Southern Bell, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Stadiums have their official listed capacity, but they always have overflow. They have standing room only. They have other kinds of things, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of. They find ways to put people in a stadium no matter what. So, I don't doubt that. There is not an empty seat though. That's for sure. Every time I look, there is not a single empty seat. But hey, I'm glad you're here as a Tennessee fan. I love having everybody here, especially if you're fans of any of these other teams. So it's all good. So, and Tennessee will take the ball at the 28-yard line. Hey, there you go. Field position, folks. But yeah, I've seen it so many times. You see people in the rafters. You see them on the walkways, the standing room only. The only thing that's unique, if you're not familiar with Everbank Field in Jacksonville, they have swimming pools. Yep, they have swimming pools. They even put people in the pools. I don't know. That's too much for me as swimming pools at a football game. It's a different thing. Now the question is, I got with this game is for sake of arguments here. For sake of arguments, Tennessee wins this game. Do they storm the field, rip down the goalpost, or do they wait till next week against Alabama? I'm curious to know which way that would go, because they did 2 years ago when they beat Florida. They tore down the goalpost and marched. I still love it. They threw them in the river. I think Vanderbilt did that too last week with when they beat Alabama. No. Six. Could you imagine hiding 6,000 more people in a stadium? That I don't doubt that because well, and right there, folks, this game is over. I believe 23-yard rushing touchdown, Dylan Sampson. The water finally broke on the dam. So, hey, there you go. Yay! Well, I will tell you what, though, as a Gator fan, I know this is becoming more of a Florida-Tennessee discussion. I'm sorry. Like I said, if you have other games that y'all want to talk about, let me know. There is a big game of Oregon and Ohio State where Ohio State leads 28-22, Ole Miss leading LSU 17-13. Those are the big games of note that are currently still ongoing right now. But the floodgates are open. This type of thing, I could see Florida getting blown out now. I give Tennessee another touchdown, 10 points. Get a couple turnovers here. You say maybe I'm being too negative, a little bit too early, but I've seen this Florida team play. This Florida team has no energy to it. Even in the first half, they're moving the ball, doing less of they take on the tone of their coach. And this coach is very stubborn. He's going to do it his way, what he wants to. Clap, shift, clap, shift, or whatever it is. And just no passion on this team. It's hard to watch. I tell you, that's why I'll be honest. I've enjoyed watching teams like Tennessee and Georgia play the last couple of years. It's actually what football should be, some energy. And yeah, you struggle tonight. You have games like that. And that's where sometimes as fans, we got to be patient with our teams is not everything goes our way. And it is a struggle and it is a dogfight. But the good teams work through it and find ways to overcome the difficult times. So I just And then now with Florida down with two of their main players, the starting quarterback and the starting running back, yeah, you're limited on options. You take Mertz and Johnson out. Mertz was 11 of 15, 125 yards, touchdown pass. Montreal Johnson was 12 carries, 85 yards, 7 yards a carry against this great Tennessee defensive front. And you replace him with DJ Lagway, 5 of 11, 70 yards, an interception. The next leading runner behind Mertz, who had 11 yards, was DJ Lagway at 10 yards, Jaden Baugh at 9 yards on 8 carries. So, folks, Florida ain't got much behind there. And with the starter, the two starters out, that's why I'm saying I think this game could get ugly really quickly. And now that Dylan Sampson had 19 carries for 54 yards, but then busted that 23-yard touchdown run. When Tennessee gets the ball back, they need to run the ball. Don't worry about throwing the ball down the field. Keep running Sampson now, because usually when the Gators start to fall apart with the running game on defense, then it falls quickly. Ask when they played Miami earlier this year. They couldn't stop them. And also against Texas A&M. But of course, both teams, they got butchered by the quarterbacks too, but you can forget anything running-wise. Mississippi State even ran for over 240 yards against this Gator defense. So, again, brings us to the question, assuming if Tennessee wins this game tonight, is Napier still the coach tomorrow? People have said the money is there, but will the decision be made? How long do you wait? This game could have saved his job, and it could still save his job. If they can prove me wrong, come back and win this game, it could be the start of something, better, for him. But unfortunately, experience and what I've seen tonight is dictating. And like I said, if they were playing all like a well-oiled machine and things are going right tonight, and they lost, that'd be one thing. But this team is still making the mistakes, false starts, fumbles, bad passes. Just they're like a low energy team. It's like Steve Spurrier, the great ball coach, said after the one of the losses against Texas A&M. Somebody on the sideline needs to get mad. Somebody needs to show some passion, show some excitement. Somebody do something different, So, but we shall see. Well, let's see. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap up. I'll finish the last 9 minutes. I'll probably go live. I may go live tomorrow and talk some NFL. I may go later live tonight. I don't know. Whenever I feel like it. But let's. I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to split the tension between the two because we can make it like a reaction thing. A reaction stream, but okay, we got a 3rd and 3. We'll hold on for that at least, because that the game is getting late, it's getting away, and you're down 7 in front of 110,000 fans. That is really going to be impossible. I have the volume on mute so it doesn't get caught over in the feed, but I'm thinking, like, if y'all are watching this game live, if you're watching this live, I'm sure that the stadium is really, really loud. And he throws the ball out of bounds. Not even close. Dude, he's a freshman, folks, but some freshmen are real better than others. But Stunning said, you should go clap, clap, shift whenever we swap players. Shift. I like that, Stunning. That's actually a good idea. That's probably a very good idea. So we'll see. 4th and 3. Nope. All right. I don't know. I get. Let's see. We'll see how we go with this. Taking a look at other scores, LSU and Mississippi are still tied, or still 17-13 now. with LSU. Ole Miss is leading. So, all right, 8 minutes left in this game. Let's take a look at real quickly at the Ole Miss LSU game. Ole Miss 9th ranked at the 13th ranked Tigers in Baton Rouge. Jackson Dart for Ole Miss is 16 of 22, 177 yards with a touchdown through the air. Ulysses Bentley, 4th, 4 carries, 64 yards and a touchdown for Ole Miss. Trey Harris has 7 catches, 102 yards and a touchdown for Ole Miss. Garrett Nussmeier for LSU is only 11 of 26, but for 172 yards, he has a touchdown and a pick. LSU has been stopped on the ground. Caleb Durham only has 23 yards on 7 carries. LSU as a team, 13 carries, 33 yards for 2.5 yards a carry. So Ole Miss's run defense is really stuffing the Tigers tonight, forcing them to do more from the air. Ole Miss, though, is averaging 5 yards a carry, over 120 yards so far in the game, rushing the ball. Ole Miss has lost a fumble, so 1 turnover each. A fumble for Ole Miss, an interception thrown by LSU in that. So, in this game here, Ole Miss is a team I picked to maybe I picked Ole Miss to make the SEC championship game this year. Yeah, they lost that unexpected game at home to Kentucky a couple weeks ago, which was just embarrassing and unexpected and really unexcusable. But hey, Kentucky always has a vaunted defense. That's why I say watch them next week in Gainesville. Very likely beating the Gators again. I mean, because of their defense. They don't. I mean, with this Gator team, you do not need much offense to beat it. So, LSU. Let's take a look at Ole Miss, the rest of their schedule this season. On the way to the SEC championship game, they also after this week they host Oklahoma, they're at Arkansas, they host Georgia, they're at Florida, at Mississippi State. So the last 2 games are easy games for them, but Oklahoma should be easy. Really, Ole Miss's last tough game should be against Georgia on the 9th of November. So that should be, if they can get past, if they can win out the rest of their games, 2 losses, but 2 losses may be enough to keep you out of the SEC championship game this year. You got Texas A&M at 3-0 in the conference. Texas is 2-0 in the conference. LSU has only played 1 conference game at 1-0. Georgia's already had its loss. Alabama with 1 loss. Arkansas, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, all 1 loss. Forget Florida. Florida is not going to win more. Vanderbilt. Oh, actually, let's take a look at Vanderbilt. That's a game I forgot about. Last week's upset win over Alabama. Let's see what the Commodores in Kentucky are doing tonight. They let's see how this game was going for them tonight. Oh crap. Let's see if this brings it up right. But hey, Vanderbilt. Hey, Mrs. Vanderbilt. Yeah, Southern. Wow. Hey, Southern Bell, you must be into your football. All right, we love that. Vandy is beating Kentucky 17-7 now in the second half. Wow. This will be a year that Vanderbilt wishes they played Florida. But Kentucky next week. Yeah, even if. At home in Lexington, though, trailing to the Commodores. Diego Pavia for – my gosh, wow. Talk about efficiency. Diego Pavia is 12 of 14 throwing the ball for 123 yards, 2 picks and an interception, 2 touchdowns and an interception, while he's also run the ball for 46 yards on the ground. This is not your average Vanderbilt team. They're actually competent on offense, which is actually – the edge that they needed. Defense is still not the best, but they can actually score with people. Probably one of the most disappointing quarterbacks in a while is Brock Vandagriff from Kentucky. He's a Georgia transfer. He backed up Stetson Bennett and then Carson Beck, but he became the starter at Kentucky. Really, 9 of 14, 76 yards, 5.5 yards per attempt on average. So you never know. Some players rise to the occasion, others don't. Obviously, the Bluegrass of Kentucky has not been good to Brock Vandagriff, although they did win at Ole Miss in that game. So, but let's see, 12 of 14. The last time I saw a stat like that was Michigan's quarterback. There was like 12 of 15, and his only 3 incompletions were all complete, but to the other team. He threw 3 picks in the game. So we've got DJ Lagway at 3rd and 12 with 5.5 minutes left in the game. I like how Tennessee does that checkerboard in the stands with the white and orange sections. Wow. Well, and they're sort of driving. So yeah, dude, he panicked. He panicked early. So anyway, we shall see. This should be the ball game. This could be the ball game right here because I would expect them to go for 4th and whatever, and not or do you punt them deep? Old school saying, kick the ball, punt them deep, play field position. You still got 5.5 minutes left. Yep, they're going to punt the ball. Yep. Yeah, they're going to turn it over with the punt. So that's 4th and 22. Hard to go for. Yeah. I wonder if my cousins are at the game, missus. Yeah, punt them today. I got some cousins that are big Gator boosters, and well, they're not big boosters, but they've had season tickets. They've traveled all over the country for games and stuff like that, and they're not happy. But hey, hello, Rylan Harris. What's up? How are you tonight? We're just talking some football. I was going to end up a little bit ago, but I decided to keep going. I got to see. Well, I got the great Southern Belle here. This Gator fan ain't going to run for the hills when you got a great Southern Belle out here cheering for a Tennessee team. So, but yeah, we're having fun. You guys really are my therapy for during this game because I tell you what, this lady was the hero of the night. This lady here came in here to watch the game with me, and then she finally had to say, "Do I have to keep watching this, please?" And I'm like, "No, you did." She survived that first half, folks. And if you saw that first half of this game, with as many times as Florida had the ball moving and should have scored, yeah, this lady is a trooper sitting there with me for this as much of the game as she did. So maybe our new team here this year will be Vanderbilt, missus. We'll cheer for Vanderbilt. But we'll definitely cheer for Vanderbilt anyway, no matter what. But I will tell you, I think in the SEC at this point, I'll get behind Tennessee. I never thought I'd say that, but I hate Georgia. There's no way I could cheer for Georgia. I'm tired of Alabama, and I hate the Roll Tide stuff. And so, of course, now will Tennessee let me on the bandwagon, or will they throw me off? Because will I bring bad luck? People in sports and superstitions are crazy things these days. So, well, we got a 3rd and 10 for Tennessee. Yep, and Graham Mertz is in civies now. So his season, I don't know. I got a feeling whatever happened might have been worse than expected, and he may be done for an extended time, if not for the season. Even if he's 3 to 4 weeks, the season will be almost over. Yes, Southern Belle. Absolutely. Vandy, the little team that canned Bama. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's probably the one time Tennessee fans actually were happy Vanderbilt did something. I did not realize that Vanderbilt and Tennessee had such a hatred until I started listening to WNML out of Knoxville. And I would tell you, they're two teams that they don't like other than Florida, Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we always keep that hope up. But 54 years of world experience, 3 years of 2.5 seasons of too much of having to watch Billy Napier coach. I'm negative, but hey, keep the faith. Yes, that's why I'm here tonight. You guys in the chat are keeping me positive tonight. And I know not only I thank you, but the missus thanks you, because otherwise I'd be a raving lunatic, wouldn't I tonight, missus? You know? Oh, anyway. So let's see what happens. It looks like Florida got a decent return out of that. So we got 2.5 minutes left in the game. All right. So I'm not going to worry as much about the other games. Let me see what the scores are right now. And then we're going to focus on this game. Now, this, of course, comes down to Florida here, the question. And Rylan pointed a good question here. You know, in this case, do you go for the 2-point conversion? Yeah. Crap. Yes. Well, that's the thing is, what do we do? If we get the touchdown, do we go for 2? So, honestly, that thing is, I would have trusted it more if they would have gotten it in the end zone than had to play defense. All right, folks, let's see. 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Only 2:31 left in this game. So, all of Florida points have come with Graham Mertz as the quarterback. Well, there you go. Napier runs the football again. I'm sorry. I don't know. I know there are times to run the football. I agree with running the football, but I do not like this guy's offense. And even the Tennessee announcers this week were, we're coming down the 2-minute warning. So let's see. Why snap it before 2 minutes? Why not just let it go all the way down? Yeah, just there you go. Take the timeout. But see, one of the Tennessee announcers, radio guys this week was talking about his observation of Florida coaching staff was that he's very obstinate. It's going to be run. His offense is going to be run this way no matter what. This particular way, the pistol formation, this 12 formation, even though he doesn't have the players, he doesn't have the talent to do what he wants to do, he's still going to run his offense his way, and no matter what. And that it's because, one of the Florida coaches' problems is he's just very stubborn. That has been a historical problem with a lot of coaches over the course of time, is they get stuck in their ways. It has to be this way. It has to be this way. But honestly, I find that the best coaches are the ones that can change and adapt in the game. And my dad always taught me about second half adjustments. You go in at halftime, you change. I will say that look like coming out at halftime that Josh Heupel did a better job of adapting, of making some changes. He stuck with the running game. And see, Nico was 13 of 21 now, 143 yards, but they've upped the running to 100. They over 100 yards now in the game. Dylan Sampson with 2 touchdowns rushing. So it's get this. Florida has 335 yards total offense to 254 of Tennessee. Yet Tennessee is leading. And I think what the question I was going to say earlier was, do you go for 2 if you're Florida? Do you go for 2 if you're Florida, or do you just go for overtime? That is the question. Me, I would say you go for overtime. But honestly, with this coaching staff, with Mertz hurt already, I'm almost say go for 2. Yes, Southern Bell. I don't know if yes, Purdue lost by 1 to Illinois. Did you hear about that game? Purdue was down big in that game and had to rally, and they ended up missing the 2-point conversion in overtime. But actually, Purdue scored 2 touchdowns within the last 2 minutes, where Illinois had lost a big lead, so Illinois had to go kick the game-tying field goal as time expired in regulation. So to force the overtime, then Purdue lost it. That would have been a great game to watch live, though. I'll tell you that would have been great. Go for 2. Yes, always go for 2. According to Stunning. All right, well, let's see where we are. Oregon now leads. There's a score update in the 4th in Eugene. Number 3, Oregon has taken the lead back over Ohio State, 29-28. In the 4th quarter, Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback, transfer from Oklahoma, is 18 of 29 for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air for the Ducks. In the third quarter, Ole Miss still leads LSU 17-13. In the third quarter, Iowa State, number 11 in Iowa State, leads 14-10 over West Virginia in Morgantown, where, if you don't know, Morgantown, they love to burn the couches. I can't remember if it's a single game rivalry. There's somebody playing. Let me look at this. That needs to be on one of my general streams one time. But yeah, let me look that up. But yeah, one of the habits West Virginia fans have is not only when they're wet and drunk and soggy after a football game, they singing country roads all the time badly. They have a cultural thing about burning couches. Yes, exactly. So it's part of the. I have to look at this in a second. All right. Well, let's see what happened. Let's see what happens. So we got second down as the clock is running. So. Okay. Yep. It started in mid-1970s when they won a game over Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh. So that's become a tradition where they burn couches, usually after they beat Pitt, but I think they also reserve that for other key wins too. Oh my God. Another false start. Another false start. Oh my God, this is, yeah. Yep. So I don't know. Has any of y'all ever heard about the tradition in Morgantown of burning couches? Yep. It's not reserved for just Pittsburgh anymore. It's God, it's could you imagine? Hey, how do you want? Hey, honey, let's get rid of the couch. Yeah, let's go have a couch burning after the football game tonight. Oh my God, he's really using a timeout. Okay, folks, this is back to where I am about coaching ability and having your team ready for a game. Your good team does not waste a timeout. Timeouts are precious. You've got 3 timeouts right now. Say even if you got stopped, you could actually stop the other team, use all your 3 timeouts, and get the ball back possibly. But, oh my goodness. Yeah. I will say, I think with the way this game is going, I'll answer my own question. I think in this case, if I'm Florida, if I score the touchdown, I go for 2. You go for it all. Go big or go home, just there's no point. There's no point. There's no telling what they would do in overtime with Tennessee right now. They're struggling on offense with the backup quarterback in the game. They do not show confidence in him throwing the football right now with the way the play calling has been, which is frustrating as a Gator fan. All I hear is about the kid's arm and all this other stuff, but they really don't. They don't seem to show that they trust him to throw the ball in the big games against the good teams. So we got 2nd and 17, and we got a screen pass. Wow. All right. So we get to a nice third down. We got 2 questions. Either if you're Florida, do you go for 2 if you do score the touchdown? Or if you're Tennessee, do y'all charge the field, take the conference fine, rip down the goalpost, and dump them in the Tennessee River? Personally, if I was Tennessee, I'd go for the goalpost. Well, we got 3rd and 18. And do not false start, because then you get a 10-second runoff. Unless you got, they do have the timeouts. Now, timeouts don't mean anything to Florida. Oh, no! Oh, my God! I cannot believe it. Wow. Thank you for letting the kid throw the ball down the field, finally. Oh, now our question. Do you go for 2? Do you not? Sorry about that. Oh. So, oh boy, Wow. I know. Mrs. has come in here now. So.
Oh my gosh.
I know. You heard me? Is that
yes,
what happened?
I'm walking away.
You're walking away. She's walking away. Southern Belle says no. Southern Belle, I'm glad. Thank you for hanging out tonight with us and stunning everybody. Ron Harris, you guys. I will feel very bad for Tennessee tonight. It's the first time ever I would feel bad if things happen this way. But again, question: do you go for two? Do you play for overtime? And I will tell you, I will say this was one of this kid's best plays I've seen him play throw as a Gator. Oh, Stunning said hi, Mrs. This is, but see, again, they have him looking to throw the ball down the field, not dinking and dunking the 2 yard things in the flat and stuff. So let's see what they're doing. My guess is they're going for two. Yep, looks like they're going for two. This will be the ball game, folks. Florida gets it. We shall see. We shall see. And Florida's 0 for 1 on 2-point conversions this year. And just, oh my gosh. Ugh. So Tennessee looks like Tennessee will take time out here to line things up for the defense. So for you football fans out there, what would you do? Would you go for one? Or would you go for two? Honestly, the objective me would go for one, play for overtime. But I could see going for two in this case because you don't have much hope for the rest of the year with Georgia, Mississippi, and LSU coming up. But you are on the road. You have this hostile environment, like Southern Belle said, almost 110,000 people there for it. You know this play is going to be loud as anything. Well, hey, Billy Napier decided to go for one. So we will get bonus football. Well, excuse me, sorry. Okay, if I jinx them, then you can let me have it. Wow. Okay, looks like we have overtime coming, folks. Small Town Republic, hey, hell to you. Wow. By the way, B from O told me that you guys won today 3-0 with a last second field goal over the bye week. So good to see you tonight. Well, folks, I tell you what, this is overtime. Yep, that's what we're headed for. That's what we're headed for, unless something really weird happens. That was the textbook rule to go for the single point to force overtime. That truly was. Now, if you're Vanderbilt, yeah, you go for two. But I don't. Hey, you never know. That's why I don't get paid this money. I'd take $1 million. All right, give me 500,000. I'll be a cheap head coach. So, oh my goodness. Now, Southern Belle, you mentioned about the crowds out there. Have you ever been to a Tennessee game? I've been to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium down at Florida Field before, and it's before all the expansions and stuff. And I swear it's an uncomfortable stadium to sit in. But it has historically been a very loud stadium, one of the loudest in the SEC. But I'm curious. Oh, babe. So nothing like hearing Rocky Top and all that live. Yeah. The splitting of the T, I understand. I've seen the splitting of the T. It's a big tradition. And our running of the T, I'm not sure what it's called. But, yeah, when the band forms the T, they come out of the tunnels, and it's really, really loud. I've seen videos on YouTube with the Rocky Top and all that. But, yeah, it seems like a great place to actually see a game and watch a game. Mrs. and I thought when we went to Colorado last year, I thought of it too late. We should have taken a look at all the stadiums in the West because we saw LSU Tiger Stadium. We should have seen. We were past Ole Miss and Starkville fairly closely, in Missouri too, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together until it was a bit too late. So Tennessee, 23 seconds. Small Time Republic said, forgot which game it was earlier today. Team had the lead in the ball, and the analytics said they should go out on 4th and 10 or better. Small Time Republic, you and I, we talked about analytics before. That is actually apparently what got kind of worked against Lane Kiffin against, again, the Kentucky loss. Was his obsession and sticking on to analytics. And again, it's horrible with what analytics do you thanks to the NFL bringing in. Nothing like it. Oh, I'm sure. I could only imagine what it was like if it hadn't been there 2 years ago when they beat Alabama. That would have been really, really interesting. Oh my goodness. I've been to Florida Georgia games, but it's different because it's a split crowd, half and half. I did go to the one Florida Georgia game that was held at Ben Griffin Stadium in Gainesville when the Jaguars Stadium was being renovated back in the mid 90s. And that was interesting. It was weird to see Florida Georgia in a home and home environment, but it's, and hello, Atwood. Good to see you tonight. Your dogs ended up holding on, winning by 10. So what we'll do, if this game gets to the overtime, we're going to take a quick look around the scores currently going on and then recap today's action again. A little bit more. Oop, out of bounds. Wow. Well, all I know is there's going to be one unhappy fan base either way after this game is over. No matter who wins it, the fan base is going to be, well, actually, I think both fan bases are going to be upset. No matter who wins it, they're going to be upset because they didn't play well. They should have played better and won it bigger. And then the other fan base is like, our coach sucks, our team sucks. And of course, I feel for the Tennessee fans, but I've heard some of them really like, look, I'd trade coaches with you in a heartbeat, like I've said. So, yep, it's tied. Yep. Yes. See, that's what really is. That's why this Tennessee is a bigger rival to me than Georgia, really, because of those years. And yeah, that is. And remember, Florida, Tennessee, from the mid to late 90s and the early mid 2000s, it was the first SEC game of the season. It was always that week after the U.S. Open and it was always that 3:30 game on CBS. And that's how big this game. And usually, for a long time, the winner of Florida, Tennessee won the East. And that's how critical this was. And that's how the rivalry grew. But for Florida having won 17 of the last 20. Now, this is one of the matchups that could go away with the new 16-team SEC conference and the matchups that they're trying to look forward. This game is also going to be played in Gainesville next year. But after that, nobody knows. This is one of those games that would be sad for it not to happen. And you've been to a Florida Tennessee game. Did you get to go to one where Tennessee won? I'm curious because one of the frustrations I heard from the Tennessee announcers were how they always kept losing to Florida at home, even when they had better teams. Because there have been some shockers up in Neyland when Florida had much worse teams than Tennessee. But yeah, I'm sure that's a heck of a game, and I'm curious to know what you think. As a Florida fan, I'd hate losing the Florida Tennessee matchup every year. I consider a rivalry up there with Florida Georgia. Take away LSU and all the other crap. I consider Tennessee a rival, but I've also heard a lot of the people from Tennessee may dislike South Carolina or some of the other teams. Or Tennessee, well, of course, Alabama's a bigger rival than Florida and Tennessee, but I don't know. Do you consider like Florida that hatred type rival? Of course, not up to Alabama or Vandy State. So, yeah, and been to Auburn and Vandy games at UT. Yeah, I did not realize. I did not realize the UT Vandy was as big a rivalry till the last couple of years with the people up there. So Tennessee. Oh boy, I bet you. Okay, that had to be a game to be at then, because especially with the way the history of the series had been and had gone. That I wonder if that was like the 2004 Will Hoyt missed the field goal, missed the extra point that made the field goal. Yeah, that was 30-28 in 2004. Of course, 2016 in Knoxville, 38-28. So, yeah, I was reminded by the sportsman animal that was talking about the 2004 game because Eric Ainge, the quarterback at the time, he got him down there. The kicker missed the extra point. They got mad, and then the kicker made the game-winning field goal. So, yeah. Oh, and into the dirt. Yes. Nimrod missed. Yeah, they actually, Small Town Republic, I don't know if you saw earlier, but they had several big plays that they missed out earlier in the game. Wide receivers running wide open, but, I think in that case he missed the ball. So Bell had beer all over her and was not drinking. Exactly. It happens. Well, one of the interesting things at Florida Field, though, is they let the people – let's see what's happening. 8 seconds, and he's out of bounds with 5 seconds left. Then a flag. Oh, boy. Will this be a 10-second runoff and into the regulation? We shall see. So holding. Yeah, push them back 10. I don't know. I still hate this 10-second runoff thing that they keep doing. I still have tried to figure out exactly when they do it, but it just I hate the 10-second runoff. It's because I saw a game earlier today where they ended the game. They just ended the game and didn't let a team try the field goal game again because they had their timeouts and did a 10-second runoff. So I'm wondering why Tennessee's getting to run another play, but and Ohio State has taken the lead again on Oregon, 31-29. So go forward, don't go out of bounds. There you go. All right. Wow. Into regulation, folks. Wow. Well, they haven't lost yet, Atwood. They haven't lost. I refuse to cheer against my team, but still, we have to live with our head coach even longer as we head to regulation. As I mentioned, number 2 Ohio State took the lead on number 3 Oregon, 31-29, with 4 minutes left in that game out in Eugene, Oregon. Third quarter ending up, Ole Miss is now touchdown up on LSU, 20-13. Battle of number 9 and number 13 in the nation. And Iowa State has expanded its lead 21-10 over West Virginia. So it looks like there's going to be no couch burning tonight up in Morgantown. As we take a look back at other games today, let's see with this. Those are current games that are ongoing. Of things of interest, Florida Atlantic is a 2-minute warning over North Texas, 37-24. Texas San Antonio now leads Rice 27-23. The Beavers are trailing to Nevada. No, please, come on, Beavers. Well, they're losing to Nevada 42-30. Oregon State's quarterback has thrown 3 picks in this game. Oh, great. Louisiana is 4-1, beating Appalachian State 27-24, Billy Napier's former school. Vanderbilt leads with 8 minutes left in the game, 20-7 over Kentucky. Diego Pavia is still 14-16, only 2 incompletions for 127 yards. He's also run the ball for 69 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. So Syracuse expanded its lead 23-7, and in case games like that. Earlier, Penn State, number 4, escapes in overtime against USC 33-30. Georgia, 5th ranked, wins the Battle of the Bulldogs 41-31. Alabama survives South Carolina in spite of many meltdowns near the end, 27-25. Clemson, number 10, blows out Wake Forest 49-14. Notre Dame kills Stanford 49-7. The trees are going down. BYU crushes Arizona 41-19, 45-3. Missouri over Massachusetts. Pittsburgh survives over California 17-15. And we're not back yet. And in the game that so Bell mentioned earlier, Illinois and Purdue. Purdue scores 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes to take a 3-point lead over Illinois, who kicks a game-tying field goal as time expired, but wins in overtime. When Purdue's 2-point conversion failed. So, what a heck of a game! And hello, Sashi. Hey, thanks for hitting the like. So, yes, good to see you. Good to see you tonight or your morning. Keys word. Yeah, you thought. Hey, it could be. It could be in the Dean Smith days of basketball. 50-49. Oh, hey, Mrs. Stunning ordered some mini cherry blossom trees. So, all right. Well, folks, let's get our popcorn ready, your snacks ready, everything else. I mean, I had pizza in honor of you, Stunning, for this game tonight. I had chicken wings too, and let's see how this game will end. So, they haven't done the coin toss and stuff yet. Why? I thought there was a commercial break for that, folks. Anywho, all right. Oh yeah, and if you did not know it, the Mrs. loves cherry blossom trees. Absolutely. That's for a future diorama. Yeah. Go check out Stunning's channel, his work out there, folks. Does a lot of great work on YouTube and commissions and everything else like that. He's done some great work for us. Definitely. I call him the best artist on YouTube. So I'll stand by it. I'm biased. So Florida overall is 5-5 in overtime games. They've only had 10. It looks like Tennessee's 14-9. So 23 games. Yeah, I'm not used to Florida in overtimes. I don't like this overtime concept, really. I like the old NFL where it's sudden death. You kick it off, and hey, if you didn't get the ball, that's your tough luck. Yeah, I got to play defense. So, all right. Well, then what did y'all have tonight on this football night? Atwood said chicken wing, hot dog, bologna, chicken, and macaroni. I don't know. I think I was wondering what you had for dinner. Almost sounds like a song. So, oh, you got one with 5 trees. All right. Well, Tennessee will go on defense first to see. If you're not familiar with overtime in college football, both teams get the ball at the 25-yard line at least one time. The team that goes first, so both teams get the ball at least once. So basically, if the team that has it first does not score or only scores a field goal, the second team gets the ball can win the game by outscoring the other. Either, like, if there's no score, a field goal will win it, or a touchdown can outscore a field goal. Ooh, chicken salad. All right. Chicken salad. All right. And Atwood had meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm really a pizza and wing guy on football days like this for big games. Another false start on Florida. I mean, anyway, but hey, I like the food discussion better. A score update: Ole Miss leads LSU 20-16. LSU's added a field goal. They have reached the end of the third quarter. Oregon has the ball with just over 2 minutes left. Driving on Ohio State. All right, we're back to this game. 2nd and 15. Let's see if Florida commits another false start again. Maybe max protect once in a while. Oh, my. Wow. You got a kid that can throw the daggone ball down the field. He threw a touchdown earlier, and you got him more with this garbage dink and dunk crap. Pass rush right up the middle, throws it right out to the running back who had a man on it. That was a called play. That was not that was a called play. That was not the designed play on that route. And that's all on the coach with that. Small Time Republic had a burrito and some Chex Mix. Hey, Chex Mix is awesome. And burritos are cool too. All right, so now they're out of field goal range. Wow. All right. All right. Let's see. Can Florida kick the field goal? Oh, my goodness. And yes, I will say, Southern Belle, you're more than welcome to yell and scream at all caps and everything you win if Tennessee wins this game. You're very well allowed and encouraged to do that and cheer for your team. Everybody out there cheer for your team, even your Auburn fans. It is loud. I bet I would have the sound up, but trying to not have background noise come in. Wide right, wide right, wide right. You loud. It just got louder. I can see the stadium shaking. Oh my gosh. All it is about winning, folks. Yes, it was frustrating. Yes, all the thing is about winning. Winning can make a big difference. It can make a difference between whether you're making the playoffs or still in playoff contention or whether you have a job tomorrow. Well, we think. I don't know. I'm starting to think he's got something on people. But the talk is out of Gainesville is that the boosters have amassed enough money for the $26 million buyout, folks. So it's yes, Billy Napier's got a $26 million contract buyout. That's a problem with coaching. We talked about that last year on some of our streams. These buyouts what coaches get. So let's see. Here we go. All right. Let's see. And I think Gilbert's a freshman kicker, a new kicker they got this year. So it's 2nd and 7. But I tell you what, my motto is, that's my motto. Don't trust a kicker to do it. Just you keep running that ball, run that thing into the end zone. I know, Southern Belle. Hey, listen, I know. You're right. Anything could happen. I understand. I'm just letting you know, hey, feel free to, you're welcome never count your chickens before they hatch, I was worried about that on the extra point for Florida earlier, the tying extra point. Again, that gives you the question, should they have just gone for 2 then? Ooh, they threw the ball. Wow. All right. I still think the folks first and going 3. I still think they're going to charge the field and take the goalpost down, but ugh. He's in. No, they spotted him short. Wow. I guess it ruled 4 progress down. I'll come back to that in a second, small time Republic. But yeah, it's yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Let's see. 2nd and goal. Man, it's. Yep, he's in. Yep. And no flags. And no flags. That I will tell you, this turned out, the second half made a better ball game than the first half, folks. The second half made a better ball game. At least both teams seemed to do something. The first half was just a dead dud. But hey, congrats to Tennessee defending at home. 5 moves up to 5-1. Florida falls to 3-3. Hey, it may not have been pretty, but they won. Exactly. You never trust a kicker to do it. Put the ball in the end zone yourself. Never. There was a great old Oakland Raiders running back, Pete Banaszak. He used to do post-game shows for the Jaguars years ago, and he hated kickers. He's like, you got one job to do is just kick the damn football. And he hated when they missed and all this other stuff. So never trust a kicker because 3 things can go wrong. Bad snap, bad hold, bad kick. But, then again, I know. How about them Gators? I agree. We'll get you one day again. We will get back to it. But congrats again to Tennessee for coming back after a really ugly first half and to win. And congratulations to you, Southern Belle. You enjoy the win, and you guys up in Knoxville. And I'll be definitely going for you guys against Alabama. I have not made up my mind on Georgia yet because I got a kid at University of Georgia, and the missus is like, got the kids back. But hey, wow, what a game. Let's take a look at this game there real quick. Let's look at the statistics on it. And Oregon has taken a 32-31 lead. They had to settle for a field goal on Ohio State with about 140 left in the game. Colorado was up now 7-0 on Arkansas State. The game has flipped over there to that one. Let me flip us over. Let me get back on my TV over to the air and go live with what's up. But hey, now again, congratulations to Tennessee. I mean, they got a lot to play for. They could have folded earlier in the game. They did not. They stuck. They fought through. And congratulations. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what channel. Let's see. Channels of these different games on this Rebels on 25. Let's see. Here we go. It's on NBC. Okay, so we'll flip it over there. But as I'm looking, let's take a look at the final stats on this game. Oh, wow. Oregon State is only down by 5 to Nevada, but Nevada's got a 3rd and 7, Oregon State 45. So we'll see what happens with that game. Vanderbilt leads Kentucky 20-13 now. So Kentucky is coming back in that game and about to get the ball, it looks like. So in Knoxville, there you go. Southern Belle, absolutely. Take pride and enjoy that. You're my new favorite Tennessee fan. Is that okay? I've known a few Tennessee fans over the year, but if you'll be my new resident Tennessee fan, my favorite Tennessee fan out there. We had a Tennessee fan a few years ago. Then we got Auburn fans, we got Kentucky fans. Our friend Nighthawk, who appears in from time to time, is a Vanderbilt fan, believe it or not. Yes, and hell to you, JT Kirk. Yeah, thank you. Yep. Hey, appreciate it, sir. Yeah, I know. Hey, I know you had a busy day. Hope the kids are great. Oh, thank you. It's an honor, Southern Belle. It is such an honor, and I will tell you, I will definitely be happy cheering for Tennessee at times going forward. I always have to cheer against Florida, but hey. And listen, thank you for watching the game with us tonight. We appreciate that. Like I said, sometimes JT and I go live talking about scores from during the day and stuff like that. This is the first time I've really done it like as a watch thing, kind of as we're going through the game. But I appreciate you being here, Southern Belle. Maybe we'll do another Tennessee game in the future. If we do, please check us out and stay around a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit because like JT said, solo game. I got a couple news articles. I want to hit a couple of things real quick. Since we have 9-10 people here, worst Vanderbilt fan, Skip Bayless. I think he annoys everybody, though. Let's see. LSU can lose. LSU, not an LSU fan. Bad memories growing up, yeah. Can this turn with me talking Mrs. Dadman? It could. It depends. Mrs. actually come on with me from time to time. But, tonight she couldn't watch the game. It was just causing too much stress. And I understand it. That's why I went live, because it helped me. Like Southern Belle said, enjoyed watching the game with me. I enjoyed watching it with you, Southern Belle, and with all of y'all that were here. Looking back at the final numbers, Florida threw the ball for 223 yards. DJ Lagway ended up 9-17 for 98 yards. He did have the touchdown at the end with the pick. Now you wonder, should they have gone for 2? Well, when your kicker can't make a field goal, and see, that's the case there where you consider going for 2 in regulation when you're on the road, because you see Tennessee pretty much moved the ball at will in that last drive. I mean, you could see it coming. And the thing, at least going for 2 in regulation, you give yourself a chance to win. Of course, Florida did not run the ball again after Montrell Johnson left the game. The running game was shut down. Tennessee give them credit. Nika Maleva was 16 of 26 for 169 yards, threw a pick, no touchdowns. Dylan Sampson had the 23-yard run for 112 yards. Tennessee on the night ran for 143 yards. Overall, about 300 yards of total offense. The Gators' offense was mostly in the first half, shut down significantly in the second half, which was ironic. Florida had the most offense in the first half yardage-wise, but could not score more than 1 single field goal. 3 trips inside the red zone in the first half, 0 touchdowns. That is why you lose the game. Looking at, I mean, give Tennessee credit. Statistically, this match was even. Although the first half would go down as probably one of the ugliest first halves of football I've ever watched in my life. Of course, Trace Mack missed the field goal that would have given Florida a lead in overtime, but I honestly, at that point, I don't think it would have mattered. 10 seconds left now in the game. Ohio State and Oregon. Oregon is up by 1, 32-31. Ohio State has a 3rd and 25. They're trying to move into position for a last-second field goal attempt. They're at about the 42-yard line right now. So they do have 1 timeout now. So we'll see what happens with that. Yes, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, 20-13 now. See, Ohio State. Why did they throw that pass? I mean, Ohio State needs about 10 yards for a first down. I mean, to set up a field goal, but they throw a 20-yard pass downfield that gets knocked away. Well, there's a flag on the field. Let's see. And, of course, this illegal substitution on the defense on Oregon. So that will move the ball 5 yards. Now, folks, that's where they did not call the 12 men before the snap. So the play was allowed to run. So it's 5 yards on the defense. But the problem is they've lost time off the clock. So we shall see what 6 seconds left in the game. It depends on how good the Ohio State kicker is, if they're trying it for now. But yes, and definitely, let's go Vandy. Let's cheer for Vandy, at least for this week. Let's see, 3rd and 20. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh wow! The Ohio State quarterback did not get down. He did not throw it to the outlet receiver, and he did not take a knee and give himself up with time left on the clock, and time ran out. Ohio State never even got the field goal attempt to win the game. Wow. So Oregon wins 32-31. Yes. All right. It is wow. I tell you what, the football action has woken up today. On the wow. So Oregon moves to 5-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten. 6-0, and then Ohio State falls to 5-1. Will Howard was 28-35, 326 yards for Ohio State, 2 touchdowns, and but did not do well with the clock management there at the very end of the game. Yes, that's an no. No, it's like you either got to throw the ball to the outlet guy, get out of bounds, or get down, call the timeout. But he did not. He ran out of clock, and he knew it as soon as he went down there. Hey, Wade, good to see you tonight. How are you doing? Your Colorado is doing pretty good right now, leading Kansas State early. And, yes, Ohio State has a great band. That's something I want to do sometimes, talk about bands again. And just, I mean, costumes, pageantry, I mean, we talked about the splitting of the T, or the running of the T in Knoxville. We talk about the dotting of the I with the one tuba player that goes out there in their form in their standard dance routine going out the dot and the I in Ohio. One of the great traditions. And in this game, Oregon, Dylan Gabriel was 23 of 34, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, as in typical West Coast offense, there was a lot of offense in this one. But unfortunately, what a horrible way to, these are still, we talk about them being paid, we talk about being money involved and stuff, but you got to feel he's still a kid, a 20-year-old, 22-year-old. In that situation, there's high pressure states at these big universities and stuff. And he made a mistake there and did not get down in time. And Wade, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Tennessee won in overtime, 23-17. Florida missed a field goal in overtime, and Tennessee moved in for a touchdown. No, Florida could have gone for 2 at the end of regulation to try to win it in regulation, but they didn't. They elected to play for overtime. Let's see. Ole Miss just gets the ball back from LSU. Still 10 minutes left in the – oh, man, that's still got a lot of game left. 10:50 left in the game, and Ole Miss leads 20-16 over LSU. Let's see. Let me take a look now. One more time at that Vanderbilt Kentucky game, and then there's a couple of things I want to come back to Small Town Republic. I hope you're still here. I got caught up with some of the breaking into some of these games here. Let's see, Kentucky Vanderbilt is still live. Let's see, yep, 20-13 still. Let me get one of those. See, I'm flipping games here too. Yeah, they lost. They lost at Nevada. Yeah, that not a surprise with the Beavers on that one. But then again, the Beavers have basically fallen down to playing like junior high school teams these days with the Pac-12 that is supposed to be renovated. Yes, realize the team's going 3-9. Okay, let me get back to the question he said. If they fire, let's see. I see. Let me go back to B from O here with number 9. No, I think Bama and Tennessee will stay ranked ahead of whoever's behind them. I don't think they will get jumped now. If they fire Napier and offer the job of Kiffin, would you take it if you were him or stay at Ole Miss? Ooh, good question. From his standpoint, I've not thought about it. I was thinking it more from the selfish standpoint. Oh, gosh, would you? I tell you what, honestly, if I were him, I would take it, especially with the ego involved. You got to have a huge ego to go to the University of Florida job because, honestly, a lot of us Gators think we're a hell of a lot more than what we really are, apparently, So, and there's always the pressure. You're following the footsteps of people like Spurrier and Urban Meyer, people that got away with poking at other teams over the years and stuff like that. If you want to challenge, I think he takes it. I think there'll be a lot more money involved than what he can get at Ole Miss. I think there's a better recruiting market in Florida. If I was him, I would take it. But if nothing else, but for the challenge at a big name job. You saw what he's done at Ole Miss. You seen what he's done in some other places. You also saw, and if Southern Bell's still here, she might not remember. She might not have fond memories of Lane Kiffin because Lane Kiffin did not do well at Tennessee. He actually stiffed them. I think it was coached 1 year and then dumped them really quickly. Showed a lot of disrespect to Tennessee before he left. And, Al Davis didn't like him in the NFL. But another 2 names that I've heard tied to the Florida job is not just Kiffin. A new one I heard was James Franklin from Penn State. And honestly, I'm not impressed with Franklin at Penn State because they always lose to Ohio State and Michigan. They don't win anything. They don't in championship games. But still, it's better than what they got now. And he did do a lot of good work at Vanderbilt, which should always say good. So, see, yes, I know that. He's not welcome in Knoxville. Yes, Lane Kiffin was one of the worst coaches in Tennessee history ever. And a lot of it was he was a jerk. He still, he just flat out was, among other things, and really, was. I'm glad you're still here, Southern Belle. I think, and yes, exactly. So you are our Tennessee correspondent then. Yes. Like small time as our Auburn would be for Mo. Wade is kind of a free agent all over the place. So Jerkwad. Yes. Yes. Oh, I heard all about that. He was not liked in Jacksonville as an assistant coach. Some of the local radio guys still call him Lane Kitten, Kitten, because he just was so strange. The only problem with that small time republic is the problem with another coach like from a school like that is it's like Billy Napier 2.0. Franklin would be a good child. Even Kelly from LSU has been rumored. Yes, it was a quote unofficial dark secret thing. One reporter said, "Don't quote me on it," but Brian Kelly's name is been put out there. Like there's potential problems with him in Baton Rouge already, like wanting to get out or things. So I honestly think the University of Florida job is not for the up and comer. We did that. We tried that several times. It never works. You need the proven coach. You need the hate. For all Urban Meyer's faults, I felt like him, like what Southern Belle said about Lane Kiffin up in Knoxville. I mean, he never fit into Florida. He didn't do the publicity tours, didn't do the booster clubs, all this other crap. You see what he caused. Then he went to Ohio State and said, "Look at the bad culture in Gainesville." Well, you created it, dude. I either call him Oscar Mayer like the hot dogs or Urban Liar because, anyway, it's self-evident. But regardless of all that, that's what Florida needs. They need a proven head coach. They need like a Spurrier. They need an Urban Meyer. They need somebody that has actually been a head coach at a major Power 4 or 5 conference and has had success. You will not coach in the SEC and be successful with these retread coaches, these up-and-comers. I'm sorry, I believe it. You've got Kirby Smart at Georgia. You've got Sarkisian at Texas. These guys have not always been successful everywhere they've gone, but they've had proven experience and have had times of success at the larger schools. These guys coming from these lower ones don't cut it. Look at Mike Norvell at Florida State. He came from Memphis. He struggled. The first year was horrible with him and all, and they were about to run him off, but then he had the last 2 years, especially last year. But look what happens this year when he relies so heavily on the transfer portal and the NILs, and it backfires. He picks the wrong people. So, and I agree with that. Small Time Republic. When Myers first retired, the first time when he got his ass kicked solidly by Saban in the SEC championship game, I thought he was a little baby he came up with indigestion or something. I mean, there was and then the next year when he came back, he retired on the job. He had Idazio, who couldn't get offense score out of a wet paper bag, running everything and all. He checked out. I agree with that. That's exactly what I think with that. But, but then he goes to Ohio State and everything's easy. And then anyway, that's another sore subject with me. But I think basically the next Florida coach has got to have proven Power 4 experience and successful experience. I think the job is too big, especially now with 3 years of this, and then after not finding a coach after Urban Meyer left, that's 20 years ago now already. That's how long it's been since Florida's been relevant in the SEC. You gotta hit with his next one. Otherwise, in a 16-team SEC, you can forget about the University of Florida being relevant anytime soon. Oh, Jimbo. Oh, God. You know what, Small Time Republic? There are stories I have about Jimbo Fisher when Tallahassee, but I can't say them publicly. But honestly, I never thought about that. But honestly, I think I had to bite my pride and say, yeah. I think it's had to say bite my pride and say, yeah. Because Florida's at a crossroad now with now having added Texas and Oklahoma. That's two more great programs that you fall behind right off the top. I tell you, I feared Josh Heupel when he was hired at Tennessee. I really did. Because he had success at UCF. He was young. He's young and all that. You got Kirby Smart. You got Heupel. And now Jimbo's a bit older, but he's successful. He's proven. I could go with that. No, not Uncle Jimbo. They had it right for us. No, not Uncle Jimbo, but yeah. But small time. I think I would. I as much as it pains me, that'd be like an Urban Meyer hire to me. Actually, I've heard some people talking about would our Urban Meyer go back to Gainesville. I don't see how you go back again. I mean, he had his second chance already. So, okay, somebody tell me something. Kentucky is losing to Vanderbilt. Okay, never mind. Maybe it was a bad snap. Okay, maybe it was a bad snap. But it said that when Kentucky scored their last touchdown, they pulled to win in 2013. 2-point conversion failed. Why would you go for 2 points when you're down 7? I don't get it. It might have been a bad snap and they had to Hail Mary something. But let's see. Vanderbilt is. Let's see. Wow. Kentucky looks like Kentucky is got the ball with just over a minute left. Nope. Vanderbilt looks like they just picked it off. Vanderbilt just intercepted, and looks like the Vanderbilt will be in a position to win the fourth game on the season. Just think, if Vanderbilt had beaten Georgia State, they'd be 5-1 tonight. Oh gosh. Oh, how do you lose to Georgia State but beat Alabama? And this is consecutive wins over Kentucky, or consecutive wins at Kentucky for Vanderbilt. So the last 2 times into Lexington, Vanderbilt has beaten Kentucky. Wow. How about that, folks? And it'll go down a 20-13 win. Oh, man. All right. A couple stories since we got a few minutes here. Thank y'all for being here so long since we winded up some things. If you did not hear it earlier, but West Virginia was playing today, one of the popular traditions in West Virginia is burning couches. Yes. The origins are not really clear, but, according to Tenant magazine, the fire-setting tradition started in the mid-1970s when students lit bonfires all along University Avenue following a win over rival University of Pittsburgh. And so whenever they beat Pittsburgh, they burned couches. But it has become an identity of the university. Despite efforts to curb the practice, couch burning has persisted over the years. In 2005, fire officials in Morgantown ordered all upholstered furniture, debris, and flammable objects to be removed from city porches and student neighborhoods due to safety concerns. Yep, exactly. So hey, it's you take Larry Munson's old saying of there's going to be property destruction tonight on the Run Lindsay Run call, but West Virginia actually puts feet to it with burning couches. So yes, and Kentucky is definitely better in men's basketball. It will be interesting to see how they make the move from John Calipari's 1 year and out college, NBA college teams to maybe a little bit more traditional program going forward. Well, wait, celebrated too early. It looks like the call was reversed, although people are still celebrating. So we'll see. We will reset the action in a second. Yeah, West Virginia will not be burning couches tonight. They're down by 12 with about a minute left in that game. So, nope, never mind. Nope. Vanderbilt does have the ball, so yep, they're going to run out the clock now. The get some booze when he plays at Kentucky. Yes, where did I forgot? Where did Calipari go offhand? I know he left Kentucky. Or did he go to Auburn or Ole Miss? There was I can't remember where Calipari went. Basketball was such a blur. Arkansas. Okay, all right. Well, hey, thank you, Small Town Republic. Yeah, it's yeah. He will get some boost, just a few. Oh, by the way, if you're ever in Arkansas, go over to the city of Alma, Arkansas. They have a great Popeye park. Popeye the Sailor Man park. It's a short on my channel too. We did last year when we're out that way. It's really, if you like Popeye, it's really, really cool. The other story I want to talk about, because we talked about the Napier will be hired, and we talked about possible replacements. This is an article that we touched on and we've updated now because of Jimbo Fisher last year. The top 10 buyouts for college football coaches of all time. All right. No, number 10th was Will Muschamp. Not when he was at the University of Florida, but from South Carolina in 2020. $12.9 million. Now, mind you, as I say this, because I wanted to go in this article, what the talk is with Napier's buyout is $26 million. Bobby Petrino, when he left Louisville in 2018, $14 million. A lot of people know this is one of the biggest bust coaches of all time, Scott Frost, the alumni who went back to Nebraska, 2022, $15 million. Art Briles, the Baylor coach in 2015, who left with a lot of allegations around the program, $15.1 million. Folks, it just gets worse from here, folks. You think Billy Napier's at $26 million is a lot? Well, you hadn't heard anything yet. I mean, I'm going to get back to that. Okay. Tom Herman, Texas, 2020, $15.4 million. The number 5, Ed Orgeron, LSU in 2021, $16.9 million buyout. Here's one that was a kicker in the kneecaps or the undercarriage, if you want to call that. Number 4, Willie Taggart, who came from a small school anyway to FSU. I think he had 1 year, maybe a little over 1 year, $18 million buyout for like no time and really at Florida State. Number 3, now we get into some famous names. Number 3 was Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame in 2009 at $19 million. Look at that. He had a $19 million buyout in 2009. And when you look at Orgeron in 2021, $16.9 million. So Charlie Weiss had a hell of a buyout for his time. All right. Second largest buyout for college football coaches. Small Town Republic. I know you're familiar with this. Be from OUR. Gus Malzahn at Auburn, 2020, $21.5 million. Yep. And for a coach that really didn't do that bad, but patience ran out. I think now he's at UCF. And then, of course, the number. And now remember, Billy Napier had not coached at a Power 4 conference. He's got a $26 million buyout now. After not having any track record of any larger schools, $26 million is even more than Gus Malzahn. But the number 1 top 10 buyout for college coaches of all time is the before mentioned Jimbo Fisher from Texas A&M of $76 million. $76 million. So, folks, that's how big money is in the sports. And buyouts like that would be the one thing I think Small Town Republic, that if I was the University of Florida, I would be shy on him for the buyout. I would make him take a much lower buyout if I entertain him. And honestly, for any of the next coaches, I would not. I mean, they got to be very careful of what they go to buy out. You can't keep raising $26 million to have people just go away. But you also can't have program continuing in mediocrity. But Jimbo is an interesting name that intrigues me. I think he'd find maybe more success now. And I think also with the way the league's changed with the new teams, and now he was also stuck for all those years in the Western Division with Alabama and certain teams like that. Now, who knows? All bets are off with all this. No telling who you're going to play from year to year and where it's going to go. Do any of the natural rivalries still exist in the SEC going forward? So it could be worth kicking the tires on him. But I tell you what, he's going to have to come down on a buyout like that. Nobody should be paying a buyout of $76 million. But then again, our friend Sort of Poopus Cuber, oh, you'll be back. Yes, thank you, Southern Belle. Great to talk to you and see you, and thank you for hanging out so much tonight. And thank you for the Tennessee intel. I appreciate it. So also make sure you follow me on Twitter if you don't have it. Get the notifications when we go live. I've been a little bit more random lately, but Saturday nights we've been doing a little bit more sports. Sometimes during the week I'm able to do more sports. It's just a busy couple weeks with work and family and stuff these weeks. But great, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. But yeah, I could live with. I think I could live with Jimbo Fisher. It's going to be a little bit hard, but I tell you, living with Lane Kiffin would be hard too. So there's no good answer, really. I mean, James Franklin might be the best of all the options, but I still sometimes think he's kind of mediocre. So, yeah, you fired Malzahn, replaced him with Harsin, who literally hated Auburn. That's some of the talk that they had with Napier in some ways. The Tennessee talking heads this week were talking about it. I mean, Napier's so stubborn. He's going to do this offense this way. No matter, he's not going to change. And this is Tennessee people noticing it, not me. And they're like, he's so stuck into this way. And I've heard some of the local Jacksonville talk show hosts talking about the same thing. He's got this thing. He's going to do it his way. It's this style. And it's like, fine. Then hit the unemployment line. I mean, you got a $26 million buyout. You're not going to feel the pain from it, But you do hate those kind of buyouts. You wish that you wouldn't have to pay it. But then again, how long do you have to wait, As I understand it, there seems to be pressure going on Hugh Freeze already over at Auburn because of the quarterback situation. That he's starting to feel the pressure for not being able to perform, for not getting the right quarterback in. But then again, it's all crapshoot anymore. Look at FSU with DJU they bought him from Oregon State, brought him down here, and he did not fit in with his Florida State roster in this team. So, plug and play doesn't always work. Does in video games, but not in real life. So, holy crap. Do you realize we've been going over 2 hours, 2.5 hours? Wow. That was a surprise long stream, but thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I am going to save the rest of my voice. I am going to end. Well, let me take a look. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. The Vanderbilt won, so they moved to 4-2. Let me see. Let me go back to live. Let me flip back over to the Ole Miss LSU game. Let's take a look at that really quick and see. That's 23-16 Ole Miss. So LSU is still in this game with about 2 minutes, about just under 3 minutes left in the game. So we'll finish this game. Why not? Let me take a look at Kentucky Vanderbilt. They have gone final. Diego Pavia was 15-18, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Brian Vandergriff for Kentucky, 15-28, 158 yards and a touchdown. The teams combined for about 600 yards of offense. Kentucky only had the ball for about 25 minutes. Vanderbilt had it for 33 minutes. See where they it's really statistically Kentucky ran the ball for 164 yards. Running back by committee situation, but still averaged 5 yards a carry. Vanderbilt ran the ball for 145 yards. Diego Pavia had 53 of those. He accounted for almost 200 yards of Vanderbilt's offense. Vanderbilt, you would not have ever thought of 4-2, 2-1 in the SEC. Kentucky 3-3, 1-3 now in the conference. Kentucky now goes on the road next week to play at Florida. Kentucky with their defense can shut down this Florida offense, even with DJ Lagway. We saw tonight he was very inconsistent on the road, and Kentucky's defense is truly, really, really good there too. Yeah. Let's see, Small Time Republic. I saw that with a Jaguar running back one time. I don't like that. I say go ahead, score, get the 2-point conversion. And as it worked out, the 2-point conversion did work with it. I just a big believer of scoring the points, putting it there, because I tell you, I've also seen you're also assuming you're not going to fumble or snap the ball or have penalties. I have seen quarterbacks muff snaps from the 1-yard line before, and the ball go to the other team. That's why I always say, in that case, if you can put it up by 8, they have to get the 2-point conversion. In this case, what I think Alabama's big problem was they didn't recover the onside kick. That's really what endangered them, was 2 players hit the ball, could not recover the onside kick. You recover the onside kick, that ends it. But all right, Ole Miss and LSU are at the 2-minute warning. We'll stay live till that game goes final, since I think LSU has the ball now. Looking at other scores that we've got right now. Currently in the top 25, I mentioned Ole Miss over LSU by 7, 2 minutes left. Kansas State, Colorado tied at 7 in the second quarter. Boise State takes an early 3-0 lead on Hawaii. In earlier action, number 1 Texas beats number 18 Oklahoma 34-3. Number 2 Ohio State loses at Oregon on an unfortunate bad clock mismanagement by the Ohio State quarterback at the end of the game. Oregon wins 32-31. Overtime final, Penn State, number 4, beats USC out on the West Coast 33-30. Georgia survives Mississippi State at home 41-31. Alabama really survives South Carolina at home 27-25. Making next week's matchup at Tennessee really interesting. The Gators lose at Rocky Top 23-17. Clemson destroys Wake Forest 49-14. Notre Dame crushes Stanford 49-7. 11th-ranked Iowa wins over West Virginia 28-16. BYU crushes Arizona 41-19. 21th-ranked Missouri crushes Massachusetts 45-3 in Amherst, which is why the heck does an SEC team why does a SEC team go to Massachusetts like that? That's like, you don't hear of a SEC team with a reputation going on the road for like that. Pittsburgh survives Cal at home 17-15, and Illinois survives Purdue 50-49. Yeah, the ball spun like a top. Exactly. I don't know. I mean, there's a perfect onside kick. You don't see them kick like that anymore. You really don't. So, all right. We got 2 minutes in this last SEC game for the night. I was actually looking forward if Tennessee lost to listen to their post-game show, but I know their talk radio is going to be upset about, a lot of people thought that they should blow out Florida and this, that, and the other, but it was interesting. The panic was with the talking heads and the radio people this week about the fear of Florida, of what Florida usually always does. But I tell you, Florida's defense looked good tonight. I will say that they did look respectable on the defensive side. A mistake-prone offense tonight. False starts, turnovers. That's it. You clean those up, you win the game. It actually could have been 24-0 at halftime. But it's another case where you let a team stay around. You let another team hang around, and they can come back and get you. You got to put a team away when you have a chance. All right, so LSU has a 2nd and 10 tonight. Ball at the 43-yard line. I've always liked Garrett Nussmeier as a quarterback for LSU. At least they were well stocked when their Heisman Trophy winner moved on this year to the NFL, and he's put up good numbers in the NFL. That's what's crazy. So, man, Again, here you go. It's a case of if you score a touchdown, you go for one or two. Probably go for one since you are at home. The great woulda, coulda, shoulda in the Florida game is should they have just gone for 2 points? When you lose like they did, then the answer is yes, they should have gone for two. So, yeah. Can you believe it? 2.5 hours?
I know. I've been listening.
Mrs. is just walking in.
I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody.
And she says good night. There's a review coming up here. Small Town Republic got Nussmeier's dad's autograph at the Senior Bowl 30 years ago. Was this Nussmeier? Is that Wade says hi, Mrs.
Hey, Wade.
Which so there is another Nussmeier that's bouncing in my head, and I think it's a Nussmeier that had bounced around college coaching. I think he was a coach at Florida at one time. Was it Brad Nussmeier? Because it seemed like he was a quarterback's coach, if I'm remembering correct. Doug Nussmeier. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Are you talking about Doug Nussmeier?
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Okay. Garrett Nussmeier is the son of Doug Nussmeier. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. And Doug Nussmeier is my age. Yep. Yep. Doug. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. He's my age. Oh, God. I'm old. Good old 54. So, hey. Yeah. Yeah. He's bounced around different offensive coaching jobs, NFL and college. So, oh, great. Now we got a review on the field. So Georgia has won 28 games at home and the longest active in college football. Oh, they reversed it. Called it incomplete. Well, I guess that brings up what? 3rd and 10. I tell you what, I'm getting more and more aggravated at this Florida loss tonight, though. 23-17. I mean, you go on the road, you stay close, you have every reason to try to win. You have every advantage. What's that?
They lost it.
Yeah, they lost it.
So many touchdowns they should have made, and they whiffed them.
Yeah.
And then when they lost the main quarterback, there was no way.
Yep, I know. So, well, I will also say, to be fair to the backup quarterback, I think they put him in a crappy-ass offense. They keep saying that DJ Lagway, and he is. That touchdown throw he made near the end of the game was a hell of a throw on the run, but it's down the field. You got to let the kid throw the ball down the field. You got to open him out, move him if you have to. Let him open up the offense. Uh-oh, LSU.
Oh, touchdown. Oh, yes, touchdown.
Wow. What the heck happened? They're bringing it back. What? Oh, I think they called him down. Or his elbow hit. Oh, man, that sucks. See, that's the case in the NFL. He wouldn't have been, yeah. Yeah, in the NFL, he wouldn't have been down. You had to be down by contact in the NFL. But in college, if you're down, you're down.
They kept the play.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I think if especially if Napier stays on, then he needs to let the kid throw the ball down the field. He's got a cannon of arm. He does look good to throw the ball, but not everybody's meant to be the dink and dunk quarterbacks, So if you're gonna have a guy that's got a cannon arm, let him throw the ball down the field. Don't keep sending him back. And the other thing, too, is not getting him stuck in 2nd and 3rd and long, like tend to happen when some of the offensive scheming has happened in a lot of games. Well, anyway, for next up for Florida's Kentucky at home next week. Then they're on the road. Well, in Jacksonville, and 2 weeks later with the Georgia Bulldogs. Then the following Saturday, they're at the Texas Longhorns. Oh, boy. Anybody want to figure out how many points that game's going to be kind of like the Florida-Nebraska national championship game. This just in, Tommy Frazier just scored again. So, it's go figure. All right. So we talked about the couch burning. We talked about the coaches' buyouts. Doug Nussmeier, father of Garrett Nussmeier. So, and of course now this will be the second win for Tennessee. This was the second win for Tennessee over Florida in the last 3 years. Yay! Both in Knoxville. Both close games though, really. Really, really interesting. In contrast to last year when Florida had really built up a big lead on Tennessee in the first half and then just held on the second half when the offense was shut down. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Let's see. Taking a look at other scores, we'll update. Of course, Ole Miss is trying to hold off LSU. There's 45 seconds left in the game. Jackson Dart is a guy that I don't think he's going to be in the Heisman race anymore. After losing to Kentucky, and just his numbers are average: 24, 38, 284 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Nothing earth-shattering or exciting when it comes to Heisman Trophy resume numbers.
Oh, where the hell was he doing that?
I don't know. So we got a 3rd and 10 with about 40 seconds left in this game. Let's look in this game statistically. LSU's only run the ball for 79 yards, thrown for almost 300 yards.
Are you just waiting for this game to get over?
Yeah. Because we'll see if it hits overtime or see if they win in regulation. I tell you, we see the rule of thumb, though. A rule of thumb is, not necessarily a rule of thumb, but the biggest question always is, when do you go for 2 at the end of a game? I know in NFL preseasons, a lot of times coaches go for 2 so they can avoid potential overtime games in the preseason. That makes sense because who cares? It's an exhibition game. But a lot of times, like teams on the road may go for 2 in regulation because of the crowd noise, as we heard, like the Tennessee crowd, really raucous, really, really wild. But like out here at LSU at home, you normally play for the tie, go for the win in in overtime then, because you do have the crowd support. But I don't know. LSU's been known to do different things. Brian Kelly has done different things. He's gone for 2 before other times to win a game. I think it was with FSU, against FSU a couple years ago. There was a time that, or maybe it was Alabama. I think it might have been last year. LSU beat Alabama. They went for 2 when you didn't expect them to in regulation. So there is at least some people say, like on the golf course, at least you give yourself a chance to win. As it was, Florida really did give itself a chance to win when they rely on a kicker who can't kick. But then again, that's another issue. He's actually been a good kicker for 2 years. You just I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah. This is always like Hawaii and Vanderbilt. She likes schools like that. But then again, I like UTEP and Oregon State. Go figure. All right. Well, we'll see. This should be the play of the game right here, whether it keeps going or if there's a.
Did he get it?
Yep. And we have a touchdown, LSU Bengal Tigers.
Wow. That was between that other player's hands.
Yep. Hey, I tell you what, folks, tonight's games have ended up pretty good. We had a great game with Ohio State, Oregon. Florida, Tennessee, for as bad as the first half was, it was a good ending to a game. You got to say, this LSU Ole Miss game's coming down to a fine ending, too. So, let's see. Well, I will probably not stick around for overtime. I will probably go ahead and call it if they go to overtime. If they do try to win it here, we'll no. So let's see how this goes. We'll finish it to regulation though, in case something crazy happens. But you got 5-1 Ole Miss. This was one of the two games that I had. Let's see, Ole Miss struggling with possibly, and it's just it's always tough to play in Baton Rouge at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nice catch, nice throw. All right. And of course, there's a score update in the first half with 1:52 left. 18th ranked Kansas State leads at Colorado 14-7. Boise, 17th ranked, leads at Hawaii 10-0. And we will. Hey. Oh my goodness, folks. Also, one of the things is I would talk to you. Maybe if we'll see if y'all feel like talking, we can talk a little bit more. One of the news stories of the article for those that are still here, and we'll see where we get some traction on it. Speaking of Ole Miss, the league, the Southeastern Conference, is looking into Ole Miss and allegations that they have been having fake injuries. Yes, fake injuries. So, let's see if I can get the article back up. The almost pretty well admitted it, but they let's see if I can. Yeah, now the headline is gone off of ESPN.com, but several schools have complained. Even South Carolina last week in the 27-3 lost by South Carolina. They had kind of wondered about Ole Miss's timing of injuries whenever people, offense made good plays or picked up the pace. If Ole Miss was faking injuries, and there's not much that they can do. It's hard for the officials to flag it and stuff. But the way the rules go is that the supervisor of officials and stuff is supposed to contact the league, and then the league deal with them in discipline. Because you might ask, well, why is a big problem with faking injuries? It gets to like squeezing in timeouts or disrupting the flow of an offense and things like that. That's why it's, some consider it a serious issue, is that it affects the integrity and play of the game. Versus just having to go out there and do the best,
They're playing another kind of football.
They're playing another kind of football.
Soccer, get it?
Oh, yeah.
The faking injuries.
Faking injuries. Yeah. That's acting, missus, but yeah. Oh, by the way.
Is it faking injuries acting?
Yeah, but they do it to stop the clock. Soccer, it's just they keep the clock running, but they do have injury time. But no, you're right. I didn't even think of that, but you're right. But there's so much more dramatic, and at least the soccer players make it look good, They look like they've been hit by a truck or something, It's not just like, oh, I got a cramp. So, all right, she'll see what here. And by the way, Tyler Warren for Penn State had 17 receptions today. 17 receptions. It's just amazing. It's amazing to have that many catches in one game for one player. Yep. And by the way, it was almost 7 years ago that when James Franklin watched a USC kicker kick a game-winning field goal as the clock expired in the Rose Bowl game when Penn State squandered a 17-point fourth quarter lead to lose the Rose Bowl game. So, hey, just to let you know, memories come back very, very very, very hard. But, this time the Penn State ended up coming back and ended up winning it. But their tight end, Tyler Warren, had 17 catches, 224 yards on the day. So, all right. So, I guess Ole Miss and LSU. And one of the reasons why I'm going to go ahead and call it now when it hits regulation, we've been going almost 3 hours for a stream that I didn't expect to go this long. And Everybody that can remember LSU Texas A&M with the 7 overtime game. Oh boy, because there's no guarantee just because you're in overtime that it's going to be done quickly. 7 overtime game. It was like 74-72 was the final score. One of the longest games in history, and probably the highest scoring between two teams. But that's still. I don't know. I do think Lane Kiffin should take the Florida job if it's offered to him. But then again, still some part of me wonders if it's the right move for Florida. But always have the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and sometimes you got to do something. But okay, we got a 3rd and 2. This game, both teams have amassed over about 800 yards combined between the two teams. So let's see what happens. Ole Miss does have 1 timeout, so they could get a decent gain. They could get a decent gain. They could use a timeout, maybe try a long field goal or at least a Hail Mary or something. No. Oh, he gave himself up there so they could use the timeout. That is interesting. He knew the clock and he got down so they could use the timeout. Unlike the end of the Ohio State game where he just ran too far and ran out of time. In that case, he should have just tossed the ball out to the back who could have gotten out of bounds with a few seconds left. But, all right. Well, we're about to wrap up with this. Again, Craig, congratulations to the University of Tennessee winning this game tonight. Hope Graham Mertz is not hurt too bad. We'll see what happens to the University of Florida going forward after tonight. Congratulations to Rocky Top. Playoffs are still in sight for them. It comes up with a great, interesting dynamics for next week's Alabama-Tennessee game up on Rocky Top. Imagine if Tennessee had lost this game, what the mood would have been like. So, all right. So, and we're going to wrap up here with this, with Ole Miss on their final play in regulation. And he goes down. All right. Well, folks, thank y'all for being here. 4 of y'all still here with me. Thank y'all for hanging out to the bitter end. 3 hours later, who can believe it? But hey, it's great to talk college football, the greatest game in the world to me. And it's always a fun and a joy. Great conversation night with you, with our Tennessee fans, our Auburn fans. Well, hope to get our LSU fans back around and stuff. And yes, exactly. And make chaos break the rules of bind, my friend. And everybody, y'all have a wonderful night. And I will see you the next time we go live. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, DadmanWalking55. I'm also on Twitch and YouTube at DadmanWalking55. Make sure you sign up, get your notifications. Follow me on Twitter so you know when I go live, when I stream out. And then also the YouTube and Twitch notifications so that you know when we go live at a moment's notice. On that note, everybody, y'all have a great night and happy college football day and enjoy what's left of it. And next week's going to be fun too. Bye, all.